let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe Liquid Beer podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
It's the 6 o'clock check-in. Come on, let's go. It's the AM nasty big hello. It's that static AM radio. It's the cool bed red hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log in with some sirloin bites.
A great Monday morning to you. This is The Nielson Show, EST, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, streaming on the iHeart, the TuneIn radio apps, and of course, in visual, color, YouTube. Hit the sub, hit the like if you are watching this morning. And I know we had a conch, as per usual, to start the show, but a very special one as well this morning, going out to Joelle. It's your birthday today. Let's give Joelle an old conch here today. Box Pounder says happy 29th. We don't need to know, but we'll take it. I mean, that's a
Never
fair...
say an age.
That's a fair number, though. A good, decent...
It's prime.
Without... It is prime. Thank you very much. Will Fraser, once again, in for Dustin Nielsen. Lieutenant Eric, YouTube, Trev with you as well. Nielsen Show presented, as always, by South Fort Chevrolet. Truck month continues here. Final weekend, so. Happy spring, by the way. I didn't get a chance officially.
And a happy spring to you
yes,
as well.
We are springing here. Truck month, though, continues. 0% for up to 72 months on Silverado Customs and Custom Trail Boss. Also, 90-day payment deferral right now at South Fort Chev, or $10,000 cash back with the purchase of a new vehicle. Conditions apply. Drive a little, save a lot out in Fort Saskatchewan today. A 3-hour show. I don't believe we're going to get to everything we need to get to, though, in this 3 hours.
Yeah, listen,
this is a time.
You also know that if there's one thing I truly believe in, it is the rule of yes and. However, I grieved this with the union the last time, and rule states after 3 absences, this show is no longer the Nielsen Show. It is Lieutenant Eric Show with Comrade Will Fraser.
We don't got that that imaging.
Listen,
up there. Yeah.
I hate to be a stickler for the rules.
I have the photo on my phone.
There is a reason we voted on these things.
Yeah, Tube Socks took the time to do it up.
Yeah.
It was a redo on the original, but you're right. I mean, Dustin, I did see a few tweets from him, of course, down in Disneyland with his family, the whole family, extended family trip. His son Marshall got to spit a Star Wars line to who is a Kylo Ren or whatever it was.
The Kylo Ren?
Well,
I thought he was dead.
I can't wait to hear about this when they return. But Marshall living the high life. They had some sort of a roller coaster picture as well. I saw from his wife. They took a picture.
Like Splash Mountain?
Yeah. And Dustin sitting there.
Pretty iconic.
They all got ponchos on. He's just wearing his cool bet hoodie.
Yeah.
Living life.
He's like, I'm bringing this water home with me.
the trip was his idea, it wasn't the kids, right?
Was there any doubt?
I just stating that factual here on air. So yeah, get your birthday wishes in for Joelle in the Nasty Chat or in the Paris Jewelers inbox this morning. Of course, PJ's 22 stores, 4 provinces across this nation. This nation's successful on the international stage in a couple of ways that we'll get to later this morning as well.
Baby.
ParisJewelers.com. Do not pay for 1 year right now. One of their flexible payment options, one of many, and currently a once-a-year sale, 55% off select items. They do sell out fast. Get it or regret it today at Paris Jewelers, 780-218-9999. It is for me. I'll own that one. Rubella 2.0. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, more like Ryan got a hat trick. Yes, no shoes, no shirt, no problem. Oilers, of course, missing 97-29. But old Nuge, hey, he's been waiting for these moments, and now he's here, and boy, is he here.
To go way back in the vault, to quote Kevin Smith on the issue, 93 problems, but a stick ain't one.
Yeah. Where's he been lately? Hey, he was running up those mountains or doing something like that. He lost a lot of weight, didn't he?
He did. He much like the rest of the world, he podcasts.
Yeah. So the Nuge coming to the rescue. I thought a pretty decently played game, but the Oilers, they were against the Kraken Saturday. Obviously, I mean, I wasn't here. How did it go over the morning after that Jets game, I guess, on Friday, too? I mean, the response from that.
I think we were pretty calm.
To get myself up to speed.
Just because we understood that it was Seattle next, so not as worried as the future opponents after that. And also, I think in this town we have come to worry less about injury status of Connor McDavid. Just because even when he is injured, he seems to return 3 times faster than anyone thinks he should. So until the facts prove that to be wrong, I think we sit with optimism in this town about the injury situation.
We'll see what happens. And of course, he got an MRI over the weekend following Oilers 5, Kraken 4. I mean, this homestand now, we talked about, 2 opponents that are higher in the standings, 2 opponents lesser than. 7-1 over Utah, a 4-3 overtime loss to the Jets, and a 5-4 win over the Kraken, with the Stars to come Wednesday, and then they're in Seattle Thursday. But a week, I guess you could say, with these couple of days off, too, beneficial in terms of the healing time and the rest. But obviously, I mean, I think I echo the refrain of most: no need to rush at this stage of the season. Although the LA Kings, who are, I mean, unbeatable at home. Yeah, 25-3-4 now following yesterday's win. They are now tied with the Oilers on 87 points, but hold that second spot with a game in hand on Edmonton. Vegas, too, winning their 3rd straight yesterday as well, so they're on 92 to lead the Pacific. But, things can change week to week now as the stretch goes on, and, I mean, I don't think you're too tempted at all to rush either one of 97 or 29 back to the lineup. I wouldn't be anyways. I mean, everybody loves to see them. I get that. Trev, you were at the game on Thursday as well, right? I mean, you missed both. I mean, you saw Connor for a bit there, and
I was there, and it was a good game. They lost, but
you get a point.
I don't know. It was okay. There wasn't too many fans. Mad yelling after that one. So it was good. Nothing to be really that mad about. And then they were able to get the job done without the 2, so that was also really, really nice to watch.
On a lot of kind of levels, right? Like,
it was a good game.
The worry in this town is what if, and so no one expects you can't be a Stanley Cup contender without those 2 guys in your lineup. But can you survive? Well, right now the Oilers are proving that they can, picking up 3 out of a possible 4 points,
and working that muscle. At this stage of the season will go a long way for that psyche, I'm sure. How about that Rachel Homan? Troll says her excellent season continues. That it does, and we'll get to that more in the good, bad, and ugly, but Troll texting in there. Text of the day today for A&W, of course, $20 to A&W. The stacker month continues. $3.99 for a single stacker, $4.99 for a double, $5.99 for a triple. You got the lettuce, you got the tomato, the onion, the pickle, and the secret sauce. It's bound to be coming back for more. Check out A&W today. But Rachel Homan, yes, what a tournament for her at the Women's Worlds down in Korea. We had Canada's men's soccer team. This is now 2 defeats over the U.S., both in the hockey, albeit for the gold. This for 3rd on American soil in L.A., which really leaves the Americans reeling right now, I guess, in terms of the footy. But, yeah, lots to unpack from the weekend. Oh, it's a shame. Jesse Marsh, I know we have a federal election coming up, or it was called. He would get my vote, I tell you that much, man. He'd form a majority government if I
Right?
was.
Like, oh my goodness, how are you not falling in love with this guy?
Yeah, Jesse Marsh should be elevated to rock star status about now, but
If you're wondering why, it's because he keeps playing the right card at the right time. Right? Like it just and it also just shows we haven't had this as a football nation before. Competence at the helm. And man, the guy just understanding that his team has been feeling a little bit justifiably screwed over by the officiating. And
that's easy. That's easy pickings when you're like, you can, it's us against the world.
Yeah.
And that's the best place to be in sports.
And Jesse Marsh has done the right thing in never condemning his players, but trying to pull them back, realize, but then also understanding the moment.
Yes.
And the moment against the USA, understanding that he needed to take the spotlight off of his players, and there's only one person he can put it on, and that's himself. Gets himself carted out of the game, and his team responds. It was masterfully done.
He's got a feel for it,
Yeah.
and you love to see it. I think this group now, at their age, it's a bit of a perfect scenario right now, and that's that lightning in a bottle thing that you don't always catch in timelines in sport, but they seem to be having it right now. We'll have more on that as well. Morning announcements, let's get into that. 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Yukon back from his strep throat. Yukon McCord in the morning. You can check out Bree and Jess Jackson as well in the afternoons. But as mentioned, only a 3-hour program today. Could probably do a 6er. I know much of, to your chagrin, though, with myself and Will hosting the show. We'd probably take an hour of Dusty as opposed to 6 hours of you and I, Will. But we will get through it here today. NHL picture from yesterday, of course, Oilers with a couple of days off ahead of the Wednesday game at home here to the Dallas Stars, but action within the division almost had a goalie tilt in that Kings 7-2 tilting of the Bruins. Swayman and Kemper. Swayman, he said, hey, Kemper's going after my guys. He wanted to piece them. Kemper came out. They skated out. Nothing happening, but bottom line is Kings score 7. Their home point streak, 14 games, and as mentioned, that home record, 25-3-4, 14-18-5 away from LA. Playoffs are a different animal, but does it really make a difference if they get that 2 spot and the Oilers are in 3?
Well, it gives them the home ice advantage.
I know, but I mean, you kind of, is this metric, the 25-3-4, so out there, and their away record sub 500? I mean, I know we say in the playoffs, kind of you throw all that out the window and it's a new season and all that, but that's tough to look away from.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
They are some of the rare teams in that they might be the only team in the mushy middle of making the playoffs is not good enough for this squad. They've already proven they are a playoff team. They have some pretty key veterans that aren't getting any younger. And so they are not a plucky underdog that just needs to prove that they're capable of anything. They need to be a Stanley Cup contender. And with that record that you point out, you're not a Stanley Cup contender.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you can make an argument, and D-Rock chimes into the Paris Jewelers inbox. Watched Kings game last night. They're looking scary at home. Big, deep, physical team. Yes. Very concerned that if we don't have home ice in round 1, we could be in trouble. But they only play one more home game. Like I'm just saying, will it go down to that final tally in the 7th game?
Can they beat the Oilers? Absolutely, they can beat the Oilers. And having home ice advantage will assist them. But
they still have to play on the road as well. And
that's just the first. Like the question of how does it affect the Oilers? It's not great. The Oilers are going to benefit by finishing ahead of them in the standings. Absolutely. However, they have owned them in the playoffs. They seem to just know what to do to grind it out and defeat this team. So I'm not overly concerned. The bigger concern for me is if I'm an LA Kings fan, I'm standing around going, what are we doing? Like, what is the plan here? We can't just be one of those teams like the New York Islanders would be the other example that's just happy to make it.
But they've tried to crack this code, and I give them credit for doing so because you could take the route, and I know Maddie mentioned this in the hangout last week, that his theory of some of the Flame stars leaving is because they look over the fence, they see McDavid and Draisaitl barbecuing, and they say, I don't want any part of this division. Yeah. And so, but the Kings, to their credit, have they've tried. They've tried going this way, underneath, around, over, and so they've had all these combos. And I think Oiler fan too sweats a bit, saying, well, they're going to have their day one of these days.
Sooner
and I just
or
wonder
later.
if this stat, it's so eye popping though, but you just get that one more. It can't come down to that one more game, could it?
Well, it could.
If it did, though, and the Oilers won on the road, that'd be hilarious.
It hasn't the last 2 years, right? The Oilers seem to be becoming more and more efficient in their dispatching of the LA Kings. So I look at all the other teams, all the other good teams in the West, and I can make a case on why they could win the Stanley Cup. I can't find it for the LA Kings.
Fair enough. And Vegas Golden Knights as well. 3 goals in the first yesterday. They cruised to a 4-2 win. Well, not cruise, but I mean, they go on to beat the Lightning 4-2 there. Would hang on, I guess. Vegas as well playing some good hockey. As of late, 3 wins in a row, 6-2-2 in their past 10. Once again, 92 points. That's top of the division on the Kings and the Oilers, both at 87. LA having a game in hand as we await Oilers and Stars Wednesday night here in Edmonton.
Do Oilers fans feel a little less upset about that Sabres loss now that the Sabres knocked off the Jets?
But this happens every single night in the NHL, or every afternoon, or whatever you want to call it. The good teams lose games sometimes to bad teams. But you can only it only matters here. You only flip out here. That's when it's not making the playoffs.
Interesting. They lose.
I think the Jets will make the playoffs.
They lose with Comrie in between the pipes, and Comrie's record on the season now drops to 8-9-1. That also, if I'm a Jets fan, concerns me because it is Hellebuyck or bust, and continues to be Hellebuyck or bust in Winnipeg. And so there is no situation where they, as we saw the Oilers do last year, hit a rough spell for their starting goaltender. There's no situation where they can go to Comrie for a game to reset their starter.
St. Louis Blues also with a win. Dylan Holloway, I believe, if I read it right, his 35th assist of the season in that one. They've won 6 in a row, 8-1-1. That sees them in wild card 2 right now on 81 points.
Red hot.
Hey, they're playing peaking too early.
No,
but I'm just saying, there's still you got to keep this up now.
No, Jordan Kyrou is playing unbelievable hockey.
Sure,
I mean,
that's. I say slightly.
I think that's a team that we
because,
all thought was going to just sell off at the deadline. They didn't, and their players have responded.
But it's so tight.
Yeah.
And can they keep it up now over the duration now? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's probably not, but
Flames 77 points as well. They've won 3 in a row. The Canucks at 76. So looking ahead to tonight as well, Canucks in New Jersey. The Stars will host the Wild in a Central Division battle. Of course, Wild holding down that wild card 1 spot on 85 points. As well. They are 4 back of the Colorado Avalanche. Dallas, that comfortable middle now in the Central at 92, and we'll see if they can kind of keep that positioning as well. 780-218-9999. Guessing the home and home the Oilers and Kings have left. Ryan and SK says we'll decide who'll finish second in the Pacific. That is right. They do have those 2 Oilers as well, with a handful of games against the Sharks down the stretch, which is
strength
kind of
of schedule seems
strange.
to favor the Oilers.
Yeah. D-Rock chimes back in. The Oilers have played well in LA. If Kings finish second, it is added pressure for them to win both home games, maybe a better start on the road. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always said to this group, I don't mind them with their backs somewhat up against the wall and having something to prove. And I think sometimes starting at home and the occasion and all this, and then you let in a weird one and it kind of unravels.
They're sickos. Like this Oilers squad is a group of sick guys. They love being doubted. They almost seem to purposely put themselves in a position to have people crap on them. Yeah. Just so that they can prove them wrong.
And hey, I mean, hypothetically, playoffs start today. You get a split in LA. You're feeling really good coming back here. Yeah. In that case. So that's kind of all it takes there. So 780-218-9999. How important is that to you? And how daunting is that Kings home record? And maybe how much are you licking your chops at their road records? So
we also saw the Kings last year with the best penalty kill in the regular season get absolutely destroyed come the playoffs. So you're absolutely right that a lot of times what happened in the regular season has very little bearing on what happens in the playoffs.
People, and I'm loving this, everybody wants to get to the curling. Hampton Steve says the Homan Empire, more like the Homan Dynasty. Could easily argue that Team Homan is the best women's curling team of all time. You mentioned it, and again, they come back, they beat Switzerland, it's down in Korea. They had a weird week in terms of, I mean, it's the Worlds. There's a lot of good teams, maybe a lot of teams that
I wouldn't
need
say
to be
a
there.
weird week, a really great narrative to their week.
Sure, yeah. In a positive fashion. I mean, it was kind of one of those things. Homan had the sty in her eyes. She's wearing glasses, all this stuff, but they win when it matters. 7-3 over Switzerland, kind of making their way through the top half of that table, and shall we say, not needing the ones they didn't, but getting the ones, obviously, that they did later on in the tournament.
We'll get to it more because it's going to be my good. But a really interesting story to their week and just how they put a flourish at the end. There are some times in tournaments like that you can come away from it and look at the record of the week and still be left wondering, did we crown the true best team, or did the team just get hot at the right time? And what the Homan team did, put that exclamation point on. They were the best team there.
The first squad since Sandra Schmirler back in 93-94 to wrap up the double back-to-back World Championships for the Homan rink. It's amazing stuff. Good to watch. Of course, the men's starting, I do believe, this weekend down in Moose Jaw. That'll be Brad Jacobs, of course, the Alberta rink winning the Brier, representing Canada at that tournament. So good on Homan. And as you mentioned, we'll have a bit more of a party coming on later in the hour. Somebody also mentioned Warren Fogle getting 100 career goals as well. I did see a Kings meme on X last night of a picture of Arvidsson, then somebody hitting the upgrade key on the keyboard.
Yeah.
And then a picture of Warren Fogle.
Hey, man,
which
that's fair.
At this stage, I think you.
Although,
say that.
what are their contracts? Are they?
Forget that.
Are they comparable contracts, or
just play on the ice? That I guess
it might be more of a you get what you pay for type of situation.
Perhaps, yeah. Formula One as well. I will get to more of that in the good, bad, and ugly, especially for the prancing ponies of Ferrari. Not a good weekend out in Shanghai. And, of course, the
Sail GP, man. Team Canada coming in, pulling in a solid second-place finish out in San Francisco, that coming off of their win in Los Angeles. Now, they do remain in 5th place in the overall standings, but there has now been some clear separation between your top 5 and the rest of the field, as they now have an 8-point lead on 6th place. So big weekend in Sail GP.
How much did Matthew I want to subscribe to your fandom on Friday? I mean,
he's all in. He's all in.
Of course
he is now planning a vacation to see Sail GP in Spain.
Full uniform. He'll be a full kit wanker in the hangout today. Hey,
he's going to be one of the. He's going to want to
big old Rolex
grinder, as they call it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, one of the 3 grinders for Team Canada.
You had a couple other words and verbiage on Thursday that wasn't too becoming of the show. Tone that down a bit.
What happens in Spain stays in Spain.
Yeah, that's what they say. On the hard court, both the Cavs and the Thunder winning. Yeah, Cavs, Celtics 5 games back of the Cavaliers. Celtics have won 5 in a row, 9-1 in their last 10. It'll be really interesting to see that kind of go down to the wire here. OKC, of course, winners of 6 in a row, 13.5 up on the Rockets, 14.5 up on the Nuggets, and 15.5 up on the Lakers. So the Thunder do own the West, but the East I do find a little interesting as it stands right now with the Celtics 5 games back. We're skipping around here over to hockey. Oiled Kings, this will be part of my good, bad, and ugly as well as we tease that segment. But they're postseason bound. They will take on the Prince Albert Raiders. I do believe games 1 and 2 in PA Friday and Saturday. So the Oiled Kings in the postseason. You got the Broncos and Tigers as well. Blades and Hitmen, Hurricanes and Wheat Kings to round out the Eastern Conference. So WHL playoffs are here. Another marker or stone that we can kind of truck through now that we're in the spring. Obviously, and things start turning, but a busy time in sports. I wanted to get to this.
The
bracket.
madness.
The madness. The madness gets tempered a bit here over the next couple of days as the tournament will pick up Thursday.
Kids got to go to class.
Well, they've had their weekend.
They've had their weekend. Those kids got to get back to class.
Duke staying in it. They'll take on Arizona Thursday in Sweet 16 action. Also Thursday, Maryland, a 4 seed, taking on 1 Florida. Number 6, BYU. Who's got BYU?
That guy.
Yeah. taking on number 2 Alabama and
who's got 2 thumbs and picked BYU? Okay.
Number 10 Arkansas against number 3 Texas Tech as the Sweet 16 will open up on Thursday. There was a few perfect ones out there. As the weekend goes on, they're like, 2 perfect ones left, 1 perfect one left, and then they all kind of fizzle away and go to grass. But it is nice though if you do have that one that you kind of
fluked out on.
Yeah.
But now get to be like, no, it's because I'm so smart.
Stuck my chest out a bit. As we say, we're all experts until it gets to this stage of the tournament. So whatever, I'll take it.
I knew. Listen, my Mormon grandpappy taught me always bet on BYU.
Bet. Yeah, my Mormon grandpappy taught me to bet on BYU. God, I love it. 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. RCN's got the numbers for your Fogel and Arvidsson deals as
what are they?
As per 3.75 mil times 3 for Fogel, 4 mil times 2 for Arvidsson.
Okay,
if I remember correctly. Yeah.
So comparables.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they made the wrong call. If you're asking, like,
we're not. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
If you're asking me who would I rather have right now, it's Warren Fogel. Easily
fit in well with the room as well. Trev, you had a concert as well on Friday. Would you like to share with the class?
It was my 3rd concert I've ever been to.
Yeah, and
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I hear you went home with somebody.
My stepdad.
Oh,
yeah,
All
he bunked at my place. So yeah, it was awesome. It was pretty cool. It was
Heart and Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
And that was the only opener. There wasn't like a
no. That was it. And it was awesome though. Like I didn't really know much about Cheap Trick, but as soon as I got up there, I was like, oh, this guy's voice is pretty familiar.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And then he was like, okay, it's that time. I want you. And then the crowd kind of went nuts, and I was like, oh my god. And then growing up, Guitar Hero was one of my favorite games, and one of my favorite songs to play was Surrender. And I had no idea that was them. That actually got me so
Mommy's
pumped.
All right.
Oh,
Daddy's all right.
That was the song. I was so pumped for that. So it was really cool. And then obviously Hart comes up there, and they still got it. They really do. Like the guy that I was sitting with, he was like, I first saw them when they were touring Alberta in like early 70s, like before they made it. And so I don't know. It was really cool to hear that. But the fact that they're still, she still got it. Like her voice was just unbelievable. The both of them. It was a really good concert.
Did you get any merch?
I did not.
No.
The lineup was the biggest thing I ever saw in my life.
Did you get
Not a
matching
chance.
tattoos with your stepfather?
No, I did
Just
not.
to commemorate it?
I didn't think of that until now, Will.
You should have.
Trev
One of
gets
you should have
cheap.
gotten cheap. The other guy gets trick.
Yeah. And then we'll have half of a heart on each other.
Oh, I love it.
With the,
And buddy,
the left side and right side. Yeah.
that was your moment.
Yeah, I know. I dropped the ball, but it was awesome. I had so much fun. It was a really good concert. I think, I have to start going to more concerts because I was soaking it up. I was taking it all in.
Oh man, maybe you need to do a little folk fest trip this summer.
I wouldn't mind that.
You should. It's a good hang.
Wouldn't mind that.
Great food.
Yeah.
Red in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Ugly. Sail GP Team Australia's boat falling apart.
Oh yeah, their wing broke.
Then they were doing the interview with the driver, and some more of the boat almost fell and hit him. I love how Red's bought in.
Red's all in.
Red's
I love
all
it,
in.
Red.
Yeah.
Good for you,
this
bud.
is good stuff. Maybe he knows Tom Stringsby or whatever his name is.
Tom Slingsby.
Slingsby. Yeah.
We went through all the names of the drivers this morning. Went all of them sound better if you use their country's accent when you say it.
Big Maple says, I can picture Maddie not finding a Sail GP kit and showing up looking like a French mime.
Oh,
It's that kind of.
what a loser.
Hamilton did win the sprint race, so it wasn't all bad for Ferrari. Yeah, I get that, but talking about the race. Kind of low event in Shanghai, I do believe, for the Chinese GP. We'll have more on that with Gager tomorrow as well, probably for his hit. He can wax poetic about the F Formula One schedule. Nasty chat's coming along. A lot of people, to be fair, I think most people would have taken Arvidsson over Fogel last July. A lot of people kind of agree. Right, Trev? That's the play, I think, at the time.
I mean,
Buyer's remorse, perhaps.
Yeah, no.
Hindsight is...
absolutely. I think at the time we were all like, cool. Arvidsson's a pest of a hockey player. I'm going to love watching this guy.
Sure.
Yeah, he had several 30-goal seasons.
Yeah.
Like Warren Fogle last year was the first time he eclipsed 20.
Yeah.
So it was kind of without a question. Everyone was like, sweet. We
Whereas
got
now
a winger for Leon Draisaitl.
You see the size and the speed of a Warren Fogle, and you're like, we could use that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Absolutely.
Let's get back here. We'll get a sports update here from YouTube. Trev will be back with the Fan Zone just ahead of Good, Bad, and Ugly as well from the weekend. If you want to play along, anything you want to chime in. Again, busy sports weekend. Only a 3-hour show today, and we are trucking through it as well. We'll try to get to everything as well today. But if you have anything you'd like to discuss coming up in the Fan Zone, hashtag your text, Fan Zone. And we'll be back with that and the Good, Bad, and Ugly to wrap up hour one. It's the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric, Will Fraser, and for Dustin Nielsen, YouTube Trev here with a sports update.
Seven games in the NHL last night. Ryan McLeod's 4 points helps the Sabres get past the Jets 5-3. Blues all over the Predators 4-1. The Golden Knights double up on the Lightning 4-2. Taylor Hall gets a hat trick for the Hurricanes in a 5-2 win over the Ducks. Warren Foegele nets his 20th of the season in a 7-2 Kings win over the Bruins. Tonight, just 4 games in the NHL as the Devils welcome in the Canucks. The Blue Jackets play the Islanders. The Stars host the Wild, and the Hockey Club and Red Wings go at it at 7 o'clock tonight. The Oilers will be back in action on Wednesday when they welcome in the Stars. In the WHL, the Oil Kings finish off their season with a 4-1 win over the Red Deer Rebels. The Oil Kings will now hit the road for Game 1 this Friday to take on the Prince Albert Raiders. Puck drop going at 7 o'clock. And the madness was in full effect yesterday as number 1 Duke defeats number 9 Baylor 89-66. Number 1 Florida gets past number 8 UConn 77-75. And just one upset as number 6 Ole Miss beats number 3 Iowa State 91-78. The madness continues later this week on Thursday. 8 games in the association last night, including the Raptors falling to the Spurs 123-89. The Raptors will be back in action tonight in one of 8 games around the association, playing the Wizards. Tip-off for this one goes at 5 o'clock. To curling we go as Rachel Homan and Team Canada are world champions once again. Homan's rink defeats the Swiss 7-3 to win back-to-back gold medals. This win has officially clinched an Olympic berth for Canada in 2026. And Canada wasn't done there as their men's team defeats the Americans 2-1, securing 3rd place at this year's CONCACAF Nations League. Join Dustin Nielsen, Trey, and Tyrell Ford and other special guests on Tuesday, April 8th at the Bellinskona for Edmonton Sports Talk Bid for Kids presented by GS Construction. A live on-location show featuring a delicious appetizer buffet, silent auction, 50/50, and more. Tickets are limited. Find them today at www.kidsportbidforkids.com.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, not tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad cats like Rishaug and Noodles. Captain can gauge it. Maybe it's fun but a cool bed to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Be left to tie a fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramel, Rapaport, Dreger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him give a present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
636 EdmontonSportsTalk.com. It is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen and YouTube Trev. If you are watching this morning on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We are close to changing 100 on a Monday morning. Gotta love that. And hit subscribe as well. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it is free. You don't get any annoying alerts or messages or anything such as that. You're just up to date on everything going on when it comes to EST on the YouTube. Of course, our regular Monday to Friday programming, and on the weekends, and Oilers pre- and post-game as well. 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. You heard that song there, the What Say You remix. Nielsen Show songs brought to you by Totem Outfitters. New gear, used gear, trade, and consign. A sport for every season with hockey equipment and skates ready to go year-round. Family store that takes pride in finding the right fit for you. You can check them out today, 7430 99th Street, or online at www.totemoutfitters.ca. Totem Outfitting, Kevin Bandal, my second over the weekend at the 4th annual Bruce Spiel going down at the Granite Curling Club. And Kevin with his shoes from Totem and his broom from Totem. What was it? The S3000, I do believe, is shooting the lights out. So our rink powered by Totem Outfitters over the weekend. And a good time had by all.
How'd you finish up? Don't just say you had a good time.
We had a great time.
How'd you finish?
I won 2 commemorative granite glasses.
Come on.
In the draw, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
It was.
How'd your rink do?
Oh, great. We missed some shots. We made a lot of shots as well.
Were they keeping score at this event?
Yes, 3 end games though, and then on the final end, they'd have a piece of paper, and you'd open it up, and it'd say like, "Hey, however many people are wearing red, you each get a point." Like, so it didn't really matter how you curled, as much as the final end could have screwed your whole system and tournament up.
That's right.
We were 4 down in the first game in that final end.
Right.
We scored 4 through the envelope process.
Congratulations.
We won on paper. Not on the pebble so much.
Yeah. So on this piece of paper, did they keep a score of some sort?
After the game, we had to write down the results next to our teams on the schedule.
Yeah. And so what did you perhaps write down?
We had a tie. We had a loss. Then a loss, and then a win.
Congratulations. It sounds like you had a great time.
We had a great time. And thank you to the Granite Curling Club for having us. Really, really nice rink. 780-218-9999. Latif has chimed in. We'll get to that in a bit. Red continues with the Sale GP text. I was actually running 2 screens watching Canada beat the States on home soil in soccer and sailing at the same time.
Yeah.
Take that, USA.
Yeah. Team USA and Sale GP, they have 2 points on the season. 2!
Jot that down for the ugly
Team Canada,
coming up in the
34. Yeah, it was a great weekend for Team Canada. All over the place.
And a happy birthday as well, again, to Joel and the Nasty Chat as the celebration continues here in the 6 o'clock hour.
And shout out to Lindsey Vaughn, by the way, for lots of reasons.
Yes.
But not the least of which, she did it for us 40-year-olds. Over the weekend, she's been doing a comeback season.
Yes.
She became the oldest ever downhill skier to podium finish at a World Cup event, placing second over the weekend at the age of 40, beating the previous record by how many years would you say?
6.
Exactly 6. By 6 years. Wow. So as a 40-year-old, she went out there and podium finished on her comeback bid. So congratulations to Lindsey Vaughn and all of us who get to see more of Lindsey Vaughn.
Yeah, see Joelle turning 29 today. Lots of years ahead.
That's right.
To accomplish and get up to the heights that Lindsey Vaughn has. Obviously, she's setting the bar, and that's not a bad thing here. Let's get into the fan zone here for fans first.
Zone.
Fan zone is brought to you by Fans
Fan
First,
zone.
by fans, for fans, no fees. Get your tickets for Oilers Cup run at www.fansfirst.ca. Once again, the Oilers back in action on Wednesday against the Stars, rounding out this 4-game road trip, which thus far I think you could call a success, shaving a point off the Jets without your 2 big dogs, and then a big win against Utah, obviously, in the one Saturday, with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins recording a gobsmacking stat, the first hat trick of the season for this Oilers team, which kind of weird when you pause to think about it, but good on Nuge and good on the team for digging in, shall we say, the unofficial motto of the Edmonton Oilers. And then finishing up as, again, this homestand Wednesday against the Stars. We'll get a little Oilers heavy here for the fan zone as well. What did you like? What did you not like? 780-218-9999. I know Arthur in the nasty chat talking about curling. I see Bouchard and another turnover leading to a breakaway, thusly resulting in a goal. When will he ever learn? Jeez.
When will he ever learn? Never.
Yeah.
He will never learn.
And we won't either. So
yeah.
That's all right. Fergie's prostate. Gosh, what does it take to get a conch for Joel? You're a little late there, buddy boy. We had one to start the show. Two. Trev gave one. Will gave one as well. So, yeah, you didn't. Yeah, that's for
the only button I know.
That's for Fergie sleeping late. He was recently in Scotland, too. I wouldn't mind to know how that trip was, Fergie's prostate. Ian. How about a conch for the once powerful couple of Lindsey Vonn and PK Subban? Somebody wants burglar.
No.
Okay. Tiger Woods is in love again, I see, too, eh?
He's all class, folks.
Hey.
He's all class.
Hey, that's all right. Let's get back to the Oilers and the fan zone,
There's
shall we?
definitely IHOP waitress vibes going on there. Guy knows what he knows. He likes what he likes.
Yeah, maybe. I was going to bring it up.
It wasn't IHOP.
That's good.
It was Waffle House, wasn't it? Definitely Waffle House vibes there.
Stacked pancakes. Yeah, that's the one. It's the Canadian answer to IHOP. We got That's Good coming up for the Italian Center at 7:40. Maybe we'll get to that there. But Oilers game again. Look, I really not in the spirit of rushing, right? Like we talked about the whole toughness thing. Nobody needs to prove anything anymore about how tough they are. Rest up, get ready. That's fine. Nuge has got this. What did you like? What did you not like? 780-218-9999. Obviously, the Nuge dominates. Trev, we got your thoughts on the Jets game. You were there. You were drinking $8 bottles of water. But from a fan point of view, what were you pulling away Saturday as well from the Oilers win over the Kraken?
Oh, yeah, no, this is good. I like this question. For the first time in ever, like once Connor and Leon are back, I'll get to that, but it looks like the Oilers finally have like a third line. Because once Connor and Leon are back, hopefully they're going to separate them. You got Connor, center 1, Leon center 2. And then you've got Nuge paired up with Victor Arvidsson and Vasily Podkolzin as your third line. And they look good. Like every shift, they have control in the ozone and they're making plays. They're reading off of each other really well. And obviously Connor and Leon were not in the game on Saturday, but you look at the score sheet, Jeff Skinner, he's on the board. You've got Kasperi Kapanen, he's on the board with an assist. Jake Wallman, like other guys. Obviously, that's not going to be like that once 97 and 29 are back, but it was just nice to see. It was refreshing to look and be like, this team does have some weapons and they don't have to just rely on Connor and Leon all the time. And I think I hope that's what this is really going to show the coaches. Like, okay, you know what? We do have some guys that are going to step up, and it's nice for the players as well. They're like, okay, well, we have to step up. I feel like at times you hear the coaches say it, they get away from playing their games when they're with Connor and Leon, and it's so easy to just give them the puck and make them do something. Well, now they have to, and so when push come to shove, they shoved, and they look great this weekend, and that third line, but that's going to be just huge for the Oilers going forward if they actually have a third line, which, this isn't just one game. That's the last 4 games. They've looked really good, so I'm so pumped with that. The fan zone.
Against the Seattle Kraken, Will, to which we talked about them in that franchise and kind of, what are they, who are they, what do they want to be?
What are you doing here?
So that's fair as well. I don't know. Wednesday will be another stiffer test, obviously, than the competition Seattle brings. But yes. Trev raises good points. Obviously, it's good to see. You were very excited when Derek Ryan got called back up. I know you tweeted out that this team does need more of a veteran agent presence in the lineup, and that's what he brings as well. So, look, I know, depth? Yeah, tongue in cheek. He's not contributing a lot, but I don't know. They seem, when he's there, it just seems to be a thing, but obviously not too connected there. Nurse 2 assists, Ekholm 2 assists on the night as well. Defense chipping in and adding in there in the attack. Nurse's season continue. I think I know he gets much maligned in this market for the money he makes. It's the deal that he's on, but still putting together a tidy season, as it were. 871 save percentage from Stuart Skinner. His
Not
game.
great.
No, I know. You get the win. A win is a win is a win.
Yeah, not great, though.
But no, these are things that old things that plague this team kind of rear their head and a Bouchard breakaway or a sub 900 goaltending performance. As long as there's a 2 points and a W added, we don't really care to discuss too much. But 780-218-9999 fan zone. Fergie's Prostate says, sorry, Eric, I was in the biffy at the start of the show. You can take the show in the bathroom with you. That's what X-Ray J does.
The acoustics are incredible.
Yeah, you get the chip, the EST chip. Maddie, you come down here. Maddie will get his Phillips out. It takes 5-10 minutes. You got one on Friday.
Phillips? I thought with the recent situation, all things were moving to Robertson. That's what I thought that was a mandate.
Standard.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, not here at EST. That's Maddie likes to be a
what an American suck.
Sale GP.
Those things strip all the time. Robertson is clearly a superior screwhead.
Look, talk to Matthew about
text us
screwheads on your
just how stupid the Phillips screwhead is. It's a waste. Every piece of electronics out there, they want to use a Robertson, but their bosses are like, what's this square thing? And you try to tell them, listen, even without magnets, it'll actually stick on there. It's just, it works perfectly. It's been 100-year war that for some reason we still haven't won, just out of stubbornness.
Spite.
I think you're right.
Atif has got 2 lengthy texts here, one of which, good morning, gentlemen. Just want to let you know I'm taking my talents elsewhere. I'm leaving EST. You never really were a card-carrying member anyways, Atif, but that's fine. I was very hurt by YTT, YouTube Trev. He didn't even make the time to come and say hi when he was at the game on Thursday night. I'm one of his biggest fans, and he let me down. Oh, by the way, great win by the Oilers on Saturday without the car. Without Connor and Leon, without the car. Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
His voice to text.
Okay.
He also says, follows it up with Saturday night was a great game. That Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got a hat trick, which was awesome. He showed up Saturday, unlike somebody on Thursday night that was supposed to come and say hi to me and didn't. On fire! So I'm sad to announce he reiterates, I'm taking my talents elsewhere and I'm leaving EST. Again, you can't leave somewhere that you were never a member of. Yeah. If you were a member, I understand that. But YTT says, I was your biggest fan. I had a cold beer waiting for you and you let me down. On a positive note, Thursday night, the Oilers got a point from the best team in the NHL. So Trev, ball in your court if you'd like to respond right now. The floor is yours.
This is ridiculous. Okay, well, I said I was sorry. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty...
Did you try looking for him?
That's your fault right there.
I'm sure you looked
Never
far and wide, right?
Say you're sorry.
Look.
Always gaslight.
He couldn't find him.
No,
couldn't find him.
Always gaslight. This is your response, Trev.
How do I say this?
This is what you say. Okay. You go, what are you talking about? We spent like 5 minutes together. I bought you a beer.
Yeah. That's what I did do.
You said it tasted a little funny.
You said it tasted a little funny, and I went to get you a new one, and you left me.
Yeah.
I came back with your beer, and you were nowhere to be found. That's the response.
That might have happened.
If we've learned anything over the last 8 years, it is never say sorry. What are you, crazy? No! You gaslight them. You just tell lies until they believe it.
Okay, I'll do that next time then. But this time, Dolphin Nation, he bought me a beer. I appreciate that, Dolphin Nation. We met up, but he was in the sports. We just walked past each other. But in my defense, intermission is when you get the food, and I had 3
never
helpings.
Defend.
I had 3
Only
helpings.
attack.
And also, I was feeling it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was afraid if I left the lounge, I wouldn't be able to find it. And he was on the 2nd floor, so I didn't even know how to get up there. I'm like, I can't do this, carry my food. Like, what am I going to do? So I said sorry. I was texting him all night.
Atif almost needs to make it easier for you next time, right?
Said,
like, he needs to, yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I'm pretty...
Oh, I hate that. Just stop it.
Okay, well, now
Stop with the apologies. Yes. Never defend. Only attack until they believe the lie.
I mean, I didn't go see him, and he also didn't go see me. So
exactly. That's your starting point. That's your starting point.
You looked around. Yeah. You looked all around.
I'm offended.
Oil City Dynasty says, good, for the love of God, no more Atif. Yeah. He's got his fans and he's got his his detractors as well. But
people say that's how you also
Be nice to
listen.
Teef.
People have been saying. Some people say that
some
Atif
people are saying
is a liar.
Well, VR Montenegro says wheels up. Well, we wish you well, Atif, in your new venture.
I'll miss you.
Yeah.
I
See,
will.
you're lying again.
Yeah.
What? I am. I will miss him. If he's legit, if he's telling the truth
Oh
here,
my
if he takes his talents
You're
elsewhere,
never going to succeed in this world.
I don't know
if
where
you
he's going to
keep
take his
with
talents.
this politeness, this honesty.
Dog eat dog.
Yeah. I turned heel for like a day. That's all.
You can't do it.
For
eh?
like an hour, probably.
Well, we'll see how. Listen, if John Cena can do it, you can do it.
Yeah. I did it for a day.
He is the Lindsey Vonn of gasoline.
Well, I would see both of them in spandex and be happy about it. So yeah.
Good, bad, and ugly from the weekend right now for Play More Tables and Games. That was the fan zone for fans first. There's a hotkey on there if you want to find it. I don't know if it's labeled.
what is it
Probably
called?
you'll have to maybe search around, but
I have no idea.
it's okay.
What is it called?
Trevor has one too, I think.
Trev?
Don't you?
What is it called, Trev?
You'll just have to.
Play more tables and games.
Yeah. Highly produced.
No, it's not bad. Play more tables and games. Pretty good.
Good, bad, and ugly brought to you by Play More Tables and Games. Ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's Game Room Experts, locations in Edmonton, or for our listeners and viewers down in Calgary or online, www.playmoregames.ca.
Play more tables and games.
Yeah. You're good from the weekend?
My good from the weekend, Rachel Homan and her crew defending their world crown with wins. Get this. Over the week, they dropped 2. To who, you may ask? To Scotland and South Korea. Because of this, South Korea had the tiebreaker, who also finished 10-2. Therefore, South Korea finished in second place, getting the bye. Meaning, Homan and her crew had to take on who? Scotland. The very team that beat them during the tournament. They defeat Scotland. With that win, they go up against who? South Korea, the other team that defeated them. To move on to the final against Team Switzerland, whose only blemish on the week had been that one loss to Team Canada. Team Canada knocking them off again. Not only do they win the tournament, taking the hard road to do it, but they do it by avenging both of their only losses and cementing their dominance over Team Switzerland. Absolutely phenomenal way to finish off a tournament. Congratulations to Homan and her crew.
Back to back, you love to see it. She is, aside from the LA Kings home record, a dazzling record in all play. I mean, tournament, whatever.
One of the greats.
Just tough to beat.
And her
again,
whole crew.
with the sty in her eye, too. Playing a little.
What is that, a sty in your eye?
Is that a sty in your eye? You got to wear those glasses. Micah's going to be going on the pitch. Once again, we mentioned it a bit, but Canada defeating the United States, the Mauricio Pochettino-led United States. And you can have him. You can have him because we got Jesse Marsh sent off, going at it for what appeared to be a penalty on Jonathan David.
Kiss.
Yeah. Look, the referees, and I know I wasn't here Friday, but the game against Mexico was classic CONCACAF. Just another CONCACAF masterpiece. You'll want to get the VHS when it's released. But Jesse Marsh, again, I think you touched on it and hit a lot of the notes earlier on in the show. He knows the fit. He knows the feel. He knows when to apply the pressure, knows when to remove it, knows what to say at the right times and how to say it. And the best part about all this is he's American. Of all things. I mean, the USA men's national program, that's where he should be. I mean, if you have any sort of foresight in dealing with things, and soccer is a bit of a slow roll. You got tournaments every 4 years, that type of thing. You can plan ahead and kind of see what's coming down the line with who you want to appoint and which positions and where. But the fact that a guy like him, coming from some pretty successful club managing,
that's right,
is here in Canada, doing what he's doing
after being passed over for Team USA's job.
Yeah, they don't.
And the guy they chose over him, they've already canned.
Yeah. They, it's good to see because the USA used to be, at least in CONCACAF in this continent, the benchmark for success.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's long gone. And whatever Canada does find and do, and I know somebody said too when Alphonso Davies went down, it's. I mean, much like the Oilers, you now know you're not just a one guy or a two guy team or club or nation. They have a bit of an identity, they have a bit of a snarl, and that's led by the guy at the top, Jesse Marsh. So, congrats to Canada. Again, it's too bad they didn't get that win against Mexico, but you know, the matchup against the USA was very. Yeah, that's what you wanted for that third, and the USA, I think, coming in first usually in this competition year after year after year. Now see themselves, and of course, no official podium, but not on the podium.
Yeah, and the other thing that Team Canada did that probably is not going to get a lot of talk because no one wants to talk about it is they have put FIFA and their world rankings in a real bad spot. FIFA has, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, overinflated Team USA's world rankings just in an attempt to keep them relevant in the world rankings.
Sure.
But with a loss to Panama and especially yet another loss to Team Canada, the way to gravity will have to take effect at some point on those world rankings. Team USA has not been a top 20 nation in a very long time, but their rankings tell you otherwise.
Yeah, it's you love to see it. I guess you could easily go for Team USA for your bad, but what have you chosen today?
My bad. Toronto Raptors. And the San Antonio Spurs.
Ooh.
Just two stinker franchises. San Antonio Spurs, of course, suffering major losses to their 2-star players in injuries, have basically said, let's take advantage of this. We're going to try and tank as hard as we can.
As you should.
And the Toronto Raptors, who, by playing their youth, had gotten onto a little bit of a run, clearly got the message through that, we are not losing our rankings as far as getting a top draft pick to the San Antonio Spurs, and just decided to lay an absolute stink bomb on the NBA last night, losing to the San Antonio Spurs 123-89.
Yeah, good.
They're not just the Raptors aren't just losing; they're making sure that it's in the bag within the first 10 minutes.
It's a race to the bottom now. Yeah. The Nets are a game back. Nets and 76ers a game back of the Raptors for 11th. If they can kind of, see their way past them, Hornets and Wizards occupy that Eastern basement. And they, fully applauds to them.
Yeah,
no one's going to catch them.
No one's catching them.
But, if you could kind of out-lose here the Nets and the Sixers down the stretch, that would go a long way to make up that ground for what you...
They gotta put the gas pedal down, man.
Full brakes. Yeah. All brakes, no gas. It's the reverse Zacticum tune here. But that's if you're not going up, you might as well go down.
Yeah. And you can't you can be the plucky underdogs that pull off the rare victory over a top tier team, but don't you dare show up against a team that's chasing you to the bottom of the standings.
Yeah. I also want to add to a good, the Oil Kings, you heard in the sports update from YTT, they are postseason bound, and it'll be against the Prince Albert Raiders in PA on Friday and Saturday. They'll be back home Tuesday and Wednesday for games here at Ice District. So Oil Kings and Raiders, opening round of the WHL playoffs. Love to see it. Spring has officially sprung. My bad will be the Chinese Grand Prix, and specifically Ferrari. And I know Lewis Hamilton in the sprint, but having both of their cars not allowed to race due to weight conditions, Gasly as well. But we'll have more on that tomorrow with Gager. But just, bad for Ferrari not being able to with those two drivers and fans in Shanghai not being able to see a red pony car taking the laps in the Grand Prix. That's bad. Lance Stroll again in the points, 9th. That's good for 2 points. And a McLaren 1-2 in Piastri and Lando Norris there. George Russell getting 3rd. So, bad for Ferrari, I guess, in the whole constructors vibe of it all. But other than that, we continue. The Formula One calendar will be Japan, Saturday, April 5th at the Suzuka circuit. Then after that, it's Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and here to Miami in the Americas. So that's your kind of Formula One look. The bad will go to Ferrari. You're ugly from the weekend, Will.
My ugly. Vancouver Canucks, man. Oh, my goodness. They are battling it out for a
500
final wild card spot.
Yeah.
In the West. They need to win to keep pace. Not only do they need to win, but they're going up against JT Miller and the awful New York Rangers. They lose their number one center, Elias Pettersson, to injury. And JT Miller and the Rangers, Miller powering them along with a 2-point night, a goal and an assist, defeat them 5-3 on Saturday, putting the Canucks in a real tough spot here coming down the home stretch. So just an ugly moment if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan is not only do you suffer the loss, not only do you lose your number one center to injury, just as it looked like maybe he was starting to find some sort of a game, and then JT Miller puts the dagger in, especially with the empty net goal to salt the victory away. That was just ugly for the Vancouver Canucks on what has been a disastrous season.
Thatcher Demko, though, nearing a return for the stretch.
If I was a Canucks fan, I would be enraged every time they're like, "Oh, he's starting to look healthy." I don't want to hear Thatcher Demko's name ever again if I'm a Canucks fan.
Ever again?
Ever again.
You're done. Too much of a tease, eh?
Well, because he is a top 3 goalie in the NHL.
You wouldn't.
When he's healthy, which is never, and it is especially never when you need him the most. It's just like he could get like Thatcher Demko. There's a real good chance that he leaves Vancouver, finally finds his form, gets healthy, and puts together 4 really strong years, picks up a Vezina, and it still is not worth it if you're a Canucks fan. You gotta move on because he has broken your heart so much.
My ugly will go to me, and I guess Ferrari did race. They got disqualified after the race. I didn't watch the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm reading the clippings here, so that's kind of that. As I mentioned, we'll have more with it
which is
tomorrow
impressive
with Gage.
because I didn't know you could read Chinese, so that's incredible.
All Mandarin.
All Mandarin.
All Mandarin.
Yeah.
The ugly will be for the out-of-town scoreboard yesterday, and the Kings and the Golden Knights picking up points as well. Again, things can change, and things will change. But right now, seeing those two teams, again, finding their form and discovering it, albeit the Oilers, again, 6-3-1 in their last 10, which isn't bad. But, yeah, ugly results, I guess, yesterday from
all
an
three
Oilers
teams
point
are
of view.
playing solid hockey right now.
Yeah, and it's nothing to take away from the Oilers, but yeah, an ugly, I guess, out of town scoreboard watching yesterday. If you are an Oilers fan, 780-218-9999. Thatcher Irrelevanco, that comes in from Dex. Might get you to A&W today. Yeah, might get you there. We are coming to you live as well from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. Featuring 5-piece nuggets. It's the value menu right now. Fried pickles, mini chicken wrap, mini chicken sandwich, and blackened cauliflower, all for just $4. I was going to add an ugly also onto my bracket here. Although I do have the winner still in, and that would be you picked Florida as well, right? Gators.
I did as well.
We're all Florida?
Yeah.
Take that, Duke.
Wow. We really went out on a limb and picked the best team in the tournament to win it.
Arguably, but we'll see how it goes. Once again, BYU as well. But other than that, this bracket can go to grass. Let's get to a break here. We got our hockey insider Darren Dreger coming up as well from TSN to kick off hour number 2. This is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric, Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen. You two Trevor with a sports update for Nisku Glass.
Games in the NHL last night. Ryan McLeod's 4 points helps the Sabres get past the Jets 5-3. Blues all over the Predators 4-1. The Golden Knights double up on the Lightning 4-2. Taylor Hall gets a hat trick for the Hurricanes in a 5-2 win over the Ducks. And Warren Foegele nets his 20th of the season in a 7-2 win over the Bruins. Tonight, just 4 games in the NHL as the Devils welcome in the Canucks. The Blue Jackets play the Islanders. The Stars host the Wild. The Hockey Club and Red Wings go at it at 7 o'clock tonight. And the Oilers will be back in action on Wednesday when they welcome in the Stars. In the WHL, the Oil Kings finish off their season with a 4-1 win over the Red Deer Rebels. The Oil Kings will now hit the road for Game 1 this Friday to take on the Prince Albert Raiders. Puck drop going at 7 o'clock. And the madness was in full effect yesterday as number 1 Duke defeats number 9 Baylor 89-66. Number 1 Florida gets past number 8 UConn 77-75, and just one upset as number 6 Ole Miss beats number 3 Iowa State 91-78. The madness continues later this week on Thursday. 8 games in the association last night, including the Raptors falling to the Spurs 123-89. The Raptors will be back in action in one of 8 games around the association tonight, playing the Wizards. Tip-off for this one goes at 5 o'clock. To curling we go as Rachel Homan and Team Canada are now world champions once again. Homan's rink defeated Swiss 7-3 to win back-to-back gold medals. This win has officially clinched an Olympic berth for Canada in 2026. And Canada wasn't done there as the men's team defeats the Americans 2-1, securing third place at this year's CONCACAF Nations League. The sports update brought to you by Nisku Glass. We want to thank EST and all the listeners and viewers, and what better way than to give them a deal. Mention Edmonton Sports Talk or present your Nasty Club membership for a 10% discount on windshields, glass, or any of your window and door orders. Call us today to get that ugly broken windshield replaced or to start your spring renovation projects now.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
I didn't go on strike for not to get caught.
7:07, it is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric, Will Fraser, and for Dustin Nielsen, who will return Smitty the Welder on Wednesday, and YouTube Trev as well here on YouTube, iHeart, TuneIn radio apps, and EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Yeah, well,
Suck it up.
his name is on the show ground there.
Well,
you know,
we're changing that right now. I told you. I've
We're
already
getting on
grieved
that.
it, and
It'll be changed by the time he gets back.
yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Just in time.
I think he did get back in the country. He's taking a few days to kind of
Clear customs?
detach from Disneyland.
Oh, I see.
And Anaheim.
It's
and all
hard to
that
let
good
the
stuff.
dream die. I understand. Yeah.
No, I hear you. 7 degrees for a high this afternoon, mainly sunny skies. Nice warm start to the week. We'll cool down as we head towards the weekend as well. Nielsen Show presented as always by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot out in Fort Saskatchewan. Truck month continues. 0% financing, 72 months on Silverado Custom and Custom Trail Boss, and 90-day payment deferral or $10,000 cash back with the purchase of a new vehicle. Let's get into our hockey insider today, and that is Darren Dreger, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Order deadlines quickly approaching for the private signings with Oilers Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Adam Henrique, both getting on the score sheet Saturday night. Of course, RNH with the hat trick. Submit your items or select from theirs at Pro-Am, located in Edmonton, corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. And we'll get to the Oilers in a second here. Darren, we talked to you last Monday. You were down at the GM meetings alongside Gino Reda. No Rishaug this year, but quickly on that, just what did you pull from there, and what were your thoughts on the meetings as a whole?
Well, I mean, it was a review. That's what it was from beginning to end of the state of the game, the advances that have been made over time with the review process that governs certain things like goalie interference, go down the list. So it was an exhaustive exercise in, I think, proving a point and supporting hockey operations of the National Hockey League that the process and the criteria that has been implemented over time, again, specific to goalie interference, actually works. Now, coaches might not agree with that. Certain NHL goaltenders may not agree with that. But the 32 general managers who went through, and again, in a very exhaustive process, 54 of the most egregious challenges, the most difficult challenges that Situation Room had to deal with and contend with, the general managers looked at and then voted good goal versus no goal, right? And of the 54, they were in agreement, majority agreement on 52 of the 54. So that tells you that the consistency of that process governing goaltender interference is working. Now, we may not always agree. And, again, one of the main takeaways for me is how they try and simplify a complex process. And how they simplify it is, okay, is player X in the blue paint, in the crease? How did player X get in the blue paint? And then ultimately the third and final of the criteria that they employ is, did that player prevent the goaltender from playing his position or resetting? Now, it gets a whole lot more complex into all of the other factors that, are introduced, but those are the three pillars of determining good goal versus bad goal in the art of distracting whether or not, or extracting whether or not it's goalie interference. So that was one of the takeaways for me, was the cleanup work they invested as a National Hockey League to deliver that message to their GMs to the media, to the fan base, and then ultimately to the coaches and the players.
Oilers, obviously, this 4-game homestand will be wrapping up Wednesday against Dallas, Darren, but no 97, no 29, no problem. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and maybe, as we said, kind of a mind-boggling stat, the first hat trick of the season for this Oilers squad. Your thoughts on, again, the point against the Jets and then the win Saturday against Seattle?
Yeah, well, the point against the Winnipeg Jets is a big one. And where the Edmonton Oilers are divisionally, I mean, it looks like it's going to be what it is. You've got that battle with the Los Angeles Kings coming down the final stretch here. No one's catching the Vegas Golden Knights, so you just kind of move on from there. But you do want to mentally and physically prepare yourself as best you can, obviously, for the start of the playoffs. And I think that's where the investment gets a whole lot higher. So there is a positive takeaway from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins having the game that he had, because there's been a number of games where you looked at that secondary layer of offense and wondered, okay, is it going to click? At what point is it going to come alive here? And alive with some consistency, not a game here or there. And you certainly can't expect RNH to deliver the knockout blow in the form of a hat trick every single night. That's absurd. But you do need more of a consistent push from certain players like that, and RNH is in that category. So that's the positive, right? Is the takeaway from the weekend. And as far as the injuries are concerned, I think the Oilers have acknowledged that they don't see that it's anything too heinous or serious. And given the fact that you've got 12 games left in the regular season, there has to be some observation placed on load management and making sure that these guys are as healthy as they can be. Because look back to last year, we knew as the playoffs went into the third round and into the Stanley Cup final that Leon Draisaitl wasn't close to being as healthy as we are normally used to seeing him play. And that's just the reality of the playoffs, let alone, you're not quite there at the end of the regular season. Everyone is feeling something this time of year. So maybe, this is going to sound dumb, but maybe it's a bit of a blessing in disguise that McDavid and Draisaitl get dinged up a little bit with a dozen games left so that they can properly be managed, and the rest is there and it's built in. Edmonton doesn't have to worry about the rest of the regular season. They can't go off the cliff, clearly, but they can manage these dinged up players.
Darren, we've seen it before many times. Every time the NHL takes one of these sorts of breaks in season for international play of some sort, some teams benefit and other teams catch a team-wide case of the flu. Like, they just come out of the break flat. I don't think I've seen a team get as hot as a direct result of it as much as the St. Louis Blues have in a long time. And it starts from their goaltender out, doesn't it?
100% it does. And now, if I think back to all the conversations we as media had going into the Four Nations, and then ultimately, John Cooper and the staff of Team Canada acknowledging that Jordan Binnington is their number one. And then after the fact, we learn, well, why is that? The fire in the belly of this guy and all. Okay, we can appreciate that. That's great stuff. But at the end of the day, he has to stop the puck and give you that chance that you need. He doesn't have steal games, but he has to give you the chance. And he more than did that for Canada at the Four Nations. And clearly that was a boost for him, because going into the Four Nations, it's not like Binnington was red hot. And the other goalies for Team Canada were questionable as well, which some feel contributed to Cooper and company making the decision that they made to go with Binnington. So anyway, it created a spark in his game. But now I want to give a little bit of credit to management, and that's Doug Armstrong with the St. Louis Blues. Managers don't often have the ability to push buttons, particularly in the second half of the season. Sure, you can enact change by way of trade, putting players on waivers, all of that. For sure you can. But I'm thinking back to an instance in January. I was in Winnipeg at the time covering a Jets game, and I learned that it was like a bland Tuesday night game. Doesn't matter, but I learned through my travels that Armstrong had visited the St. Louis dressing room and basically told all the players there, I don't give a rat's what your contract protection looks like. If we don't wake up, I'm going to start moving out bodies. I'm going to start doing some things here because we don't have a choice. We have to change on the fly here. That's where we're at. And that's, I think, where a lot of the trade speculation around Braden Shen was born. To a degree, Colton Parayko, we did see Doug Armstrong make some moves, right? And he has been a very aggressive general manager. But I think that's all in part of a process that organization goes through. And, when it pays dividends the way that it is right now, that's a manager and a coaching staff. Oh, yeah, and I forgot the fact that he changed his coach in mid-stride as well. That's a manager that looks at a veteran roster and says, okay, what can I do to help a small market team, just get right back into that playoff mix again? And he's pulled it off yet again. Sometimes I'm blown away by how effective Doug Armstrong is as an NHL GM.
TSN's Darren Dreger with us on the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser with you, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. And you mentioned the coaching change, too. It's been, I know you mentioned the Four Nations, but it's been a steady year, kind of since that change.
It's like rocket fuel coming out of the Four Nations.
Jetted up here. I wanted to get your thoughts, too, Darren. Who or what are the LA Kings? I mean, they're approaching, high record status with their home record, 4 games below 500 on the road. How would you kind of go about defining this team right now, as they do currently this morning, hold that second spot in the Pacific?
I mean, they look balanced to me. I mean, you can always pick holes in rosters and lineups and go, okay, well, did Rob Blake do enough at the trade deadline? I mean, he was certainly in on a number of different pieces, higher end guys. But at the end of the day, they feel pretty good of how things worked out there. Start of the year, fellas, did we think that their goaltending was going to be as decent as it's been? I don't think it's been over the top. At times, it's had those moments where it has been. At times, it's been average, but it's been good enough. Getting Drew Doughty back was a huge shot in the arm. Again, when you think of those blockbuster type of trades, you got to remember Drew Doughty got hurt in preseason. So effectively, they missed their leader, one of their top defensemen, for the majority of the season. Then he bounces back into the mix with the Four Nations, comes out, wins gold, and he's on top of the world, right? So he's still kind of rounding into form with the playoffs looming. So there's a lot to like about that LA team. They're certainly well coached. They play a very stingy style. And they've got enough pop in what they have in their experienced players and their young guys. Quentin Byfield comes to mind. Again, just how organizationally they've managed that young asset. Most teams don't have the luxury of doing that, right? But the Los Angeles Kings have had the luxury of doing that. They kind of shepherded him into the National Hockey League, through the American League. He was a winger, then he's a center, then he's back on the wing. I mean, that's all part of a development process in looking at what Byfield is going to be for the Los Angeles Kings. So long-winded way of saying, I like this team because of the balance. I just don't know if they've got the same level of firepower when I look around the conference and I look at Edmonton and I look at Dallas and the improvements that the Stars made. And then you look at the chemistry experiment that is the Colorado Avalanche. And you've got the Vegas Golden Knights who look as good as they look. So LA is in that conversation for sure. And I don't know if you guys picked up on this. Maybe I mentioned it a week or so ago. When Craig Button prognosticated on deadline day, based on the way the standings looked, LA to play Edmonton in round 1 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, at that point, he picked LA to beat Edmonton in a 7-game series. So that's given a ton of credit to the Los Angeles Kings. They're going to be a difficult out for any team that faces.
We spoke earlier today, too, amongst ourselves, the Fogel-Arvidsson swap as well in the offseason, and not a trade, but, there are 2 teams switching 100 goals now for Fogel in 500 games yesterday, and we've seen how that's gone. So very interesting indeed, and if LA holds on to that second spot, that could be daunting given their home record. Darren, we appreciate your time, man. We'll talk next week. Have a great week.
Yeah, you too, guys. Thank you.
TSN's Darren Dreger, your hockey insider today, Monday morning, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. And once again, RNH and Adam Henrique, private signings with them. The deadline is approaching, so get in touch with the Cooks and Boys. Submit your items or select from theirs to get signed. Pro-Am Sports in Edmonton, St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, or online, proamsports.ca. 780-218-9999. Calling with Rob. Ryan effin McLeod blows up my 5-game parlay. That's 2 weeks in a row. The Jets cost me a 5-game parlay. Go Duke. That is the Paris Jewelers inbox this morning. Don't know if that'll get you a text of the day, but you can keep getting them in. $20 to A&W is on the line. Rick the Donut wants to talk a little Jays. I don't know if we'll get into that. Of course,
Verlander looks like he's good for the opener.
Yeah, he's a horse. They brought him in for the one. Let's go.
Yeah.
He asks, will they finish 4th or 5th in the AL East this season? That's the question that he poses.
Who's ever healthiest, man? That has been the tale of the AL East over the last several years. So if the Jays can stay healthy, they'll be in the hunt. They're good enough to be in the hunt.
Spring training continuing today, tomorrow, Thursday, opening day. Of course, already had the Japan series last week with your Cubbies and Dodgers. But
Thursday,
Jays hosting the Orioles Thursday, 1:07 p.m. So we'll all get Dusty will have his Cito Gaston jacket on.
Yeah.
And, it's opening day.
Is he going full stirrups this year?
I hope again. Yes,
you have to,
and the can,
and then keep your hands in your pockets at all times.
Absolutely, yeah. Nasty chat heating up as well. RNH heating up at the right time. Yuri says, yes, he is. And as Darren said, it's probably not going to continue every game, or you hope it would, but it's not just the hat trick though. He's been on fire in the last week or so. I mean, in the games.
No, it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Yeah, but given what he's done prior this year has been pretty silent.
But he does what you ask him to do.
Sure. So you need him to do this, he'll go out and do that. Yes,
exactly.
At that time.
Yeah. The guys are hurt. Ryan, we need you to step up and be our number one center. Okay, coach, I'll go and play that role tonight. Oh, the guys are back. We need you to be our most consistent, most versatile forward that we can move you up and down the lineup and throw you wherever we need to fix a patch. Okay, coach, let me do that. Like, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins hasn't changed. It's just the job description that does. Right, it keeps
getting added.
His consistent effort has always been there. It's just sometimes it's not focused on scoring points. It's focused on something else on the ice.
780-218-9999. Let's get into your Coolbet Canada hotline of the day. Coolbet.com. Stay cool. Bet responsibly with our partners up at Coolbet. Got some NHL action tonight. Also, you can take a long look at the Sweet 16 portion of the March Madness tournament, as that's already up. Purdue, Houston, and a few other games to check in on. Canucks and Devils tonight. You got the Blue Jackets, who are fading away as well in that Eastern wildcard picture. They're up against the Islanders in a pretty telling game there between the two. Blue Jackets 2 points back of the Islanders. Your Islanders, as you said, Patty Waugh.
I love them.
Yeah, they're 2 points out of a wildcard spot today. But you can get up to Coolbet right now and bet on tonight's Wild and Stars as well, in a delicious Central matchup this evening.
Patty Waugh's starting to look like he's waking up again. Like when he first showed up in New York, he looked like he was in a coma half the time. He's starting to look like his old self. He's starting to lose it, toss the gum. He's starting to flip out a little bit.
You'll have it too at a trade deadline when a team kind of, sees veterans going in tiers, and then after that, they kind of not only stick around, but seem to perform better. Make sense of that, what you will, but once again, the NHL picture from tonight, a handful of games going on that you can bet up at coolbet.com. Canucks, Devils, again, you have no faith in the Canucks right now. You are kind of, they're scrapping.
They could go out and win. I'm just saying it's been think of where they were last year at this time. And just compare it.
With a healthy Demko. Yeah.
So ugly of a season for them.
Canucks, Devils tonight, as mentioned. Islanders at home to Columbus. The Wild are in Dallas. And the fourth and final game, we'll see Utah hosting Detroit. Another one of those teams in the East, 2-8 in their last 10. They're now 5 points back of a wild card spot in the East. So looks like the shine has kind of gone off there. So that is your NHL picture from tonight. And as mentioned, get in on the March Madness early. Action continues on Thursday for that tournament. 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers inbox. Burglar says, anyone else hear Biz Nasty ask about assless chaps as Hockey Night in Canada went to the break? He was on the panel.
I'd say that's on brand.
Yeah, that's what they get him to do. That's why he's there, is to say those things.
That might have been on the cue card.
Wasn't a mistake, I'm sure. Yeah. Say something provocative as we go to break, and then we can leave it up to the questions.
Provocative, like what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Assless chaps.
Nacho Man asks, where's Pauline Higgins with my traffic report? That'll get you. Yeah. No, Pauline's still around. She's in Nanton. She runs the candy shop with her firefighting husband. They're living the dream down there. She was at the Nasty Bash a couple of...
Fantastic.
You were at that one? 89 away from changing 200, YTT says as well on the YouTube. So get on there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel today. We'll get your thoughts again, continuing on the Oilers. The homestand continues and wraps up Wednesday against the Dallas Stars, but lots to talk about in the world of sports as well, not just the orange and blue right now. Let's get to an early sports update here. We'll be back with That's Good and give that a little more time.
That's good.
It is 7:25. This is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric, Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen. YouTube Trev here with an update for our fine friends out at Park Mazda. This is your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, edmontonsportstalk.com.
In the NHL last night, Ryan McLeod's 4 points helps the Sabres get past the Jets 5-3. Blues all over the Predators 4-1. The Golden Knights double up on the Lightning 4-2. Taylor Hall gets a hat trick for the Hurricanes in a 5-2 win over the Ducks. Warren Fogle nets his 20th of the season in a 7-2 Kings win over the Bruins. Tonight, just 4 games in the NHL as the Devils welcome in the Canucks. The Blue Jackets play the Islanders, the Stars host the Wild, and the Hockey Club and Red Wings go at it at 7 o'clock tonight. The Oilers will be back in action on Wednesday when they welcome in the Stars. In the WHL, the Oil Kings finish off their season with a 4-1 win over the Red Deer Rebels. The Oil Kings will now hit the road for Game 1 this Friday to take on the Prince Albert Raiders. Puck drop going at 7 o'clock. And the madness was in full effect yesterday as number 1 Duke defeats number 9 Baylor 89-66. Number 1 Florida gets past number 8 UConn 77-75. And just one upset as number 6 Ole Miss beats number 3 Iowa State 91-78. The madness continues later this week on Thursday. 8 games in the association last night, including the Raptors falling to the Spurs 123-89. The Raptors will be back in action tonight in one of 8 games around the association playing the Wizards. Tip-off for this one going at 5 o'clock. To curling we go as Rachel Homan and Team Canada are world champions once again. Homan's rink defeated the Swiss 7-3 to win back-to-back gold medals. This win has officially clinched an Olympic berth for Canada in 2026. Canada wasn't done there as the men's team defeats Americans 2-1, securing 3rd place at this year's CONCACAF Nations League. The sports update brought to you by the fine folks at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, your dealer for life.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Lynyrd Skynyrd with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
It's the Halloo Crew. Normally, my show won't have to. Here we go, gas station brew. Money Orlando's got one too. It's the Halloo Crew. Don't ask 1 second, mind IQ. Intellectual feels they're screwed. They can churn you with that glue. Keep the car and diesel. Go back because they're legal. They have to so sequel. Laughing just like we will. We can play together. We'll check this slow back to the middle. Say no, it's just like a lager. We're gold or maybe silver. It's the Halloo Crew. It's a story about tomorrow. And Tommy doing a cameo. Sometimes from morning radio. It's the Halloo Crew. Grumpy cat from Crown Prairie. By me of Orlando. The north side from Money. Schadenfreude, Schadenfreude. The happiness of others they avoid. They take pleasure in your hemorrhoid. Your misery makes them overjoyed. Schadenfreude, Schadenfreude. On and off the ice they will destroy. They're guaranteed to never ever bore ya. So they wish you happy Schadenfreude. It's the Halloo Crew. 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 Halloo, 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 halloo.
7:30 It is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielson. YouTube Trev here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Of course, streaming on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps and on YouTube. Coming to you live from the Popeyes, Louisiana Kitchen Studio. Nielson Show presented as always by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot out at South Fort Chev right now. Of course, truck month continuing 0% for up to 72 months on Silverado Custom and Custom Trail Bosses. It is charged still as well. Your chin strap. Hey, you're kind of... I can see a little chin strap going in.
Chin strapping anything.
Trev, you're not...
Knock it off. That's a that's a lie.
I also took the fresh blade to my face.
No, you didn't.
Over the weekend. I did.
That's how quick your
Friday.
Your facial
I did
hair
it Friday.
grows? That's how quick your facial hair grows? That's impressive.
That's not bad. Eh?
What you got right there, that's like 7 days.
This is just how I like it. I got that Velcro rub. You get an itch and you can just kind of,
I hate
That's
it when
where it's at.
like if I have my coat zipped all the way up and you can kind of just,
Savage texts my phone. Trevor Savage. What did I miss about Atif? LOL. I just woke up.
Atif says he's sworn off because he's decided to live in a world of lies about Trevor.
Yeah, he's taken his non-existent EST membership card and ripped it up, apparently. He's out. Which, I mean, he'll be back.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it is Trevor's fault that this happened, but not for the reason that Trevor thinks.
Yes, they were both going to the game Thursday against the Jets. Atif inquired earlier in the week, hey, Trev, I see you're going. I'll be there too. Why don't you come by? I had the idea of maybe splitting a hot dog. And Atif had a text in this morning saying he had a beer waiting for Trev. But Trev, you looked far and wide and you just couldn't find him. It's not your fault.
I mean,
he should have stuck out more.
Too.
Yeah, there you go.
I reached out and I was on the second level there. I was like, hey, Atif.
Well, no, you did. You saw Atif.
I'm pretty sure I'm in your section or I'm near it.
You saw Atif. You spent like 5 minutes with him. You don't know what he's talking about.
Again, he had that funny tasting beer.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the night was
Yeah, so I was talking to him, and then he just forgot.
And he ghosted you.
He ghosted me. He didn't even say...
You're the injured party.
He didn't even say thank you for the beer that I bought him.
It's crazy.
And now he's trying to make a story that's
now he's telling lies about you.
Completely false.
He's slandering you.
Yeah.
And,
it is,
and if it continues, you'll sue him.
And he's trying to make me the bad guy.
I really want taking Atif to court here.
Yeah. He better lawyer up, buddy.
So you are a member, a card-carrying member of the station, are you? Well, he'd have to. I mean, good luck with that, Atif. I don't know.
But as we said, he screwed up when he first apologized. You never apologize.
Yeah, we'll just scrub that audio. He's in on it now.
Anytime an embarrassing thing comes up about your character, you immediately lie, claim victimhood, and stick to it.
I'm going to do that now.
Yeah.
Now on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be able to do that pretty good, I think.
Right.
Actually.
If we've learned anything
if I really
from this world, never accept responsibility.
Nice to hear from you, Savage. He continues his road trip as well. Palm Desert, California this morning is where he's making up. If it's not map yet, we will pin it on the map for sure.
Go see if you can just jump in a little doubles tennis. I bet you there's a great game going on at every court.
Why not? Get your steps in.
You guys up for a second?
I want to get to this too. RV Wars returns March 27 to 30 here at the former Lowe's building on the West End. You know it. 9603 165 Avenue to be exact. But RV Wars is back. One of Alberta's biggest RV events. When the dealers compete, you win. So go check that out. Once again, happening 27th to 30th of Charge here. On-site financing and low bank rates, OAC. You can score huge savings on top manufacturers, compare brands side by side. And, mix it up and rub shoulders and get into some talks with some industry experts as well. Travel trailers, fifth wheels, tent campers, truck campers, toy haulers, Class C motorhomes, Class A motorhomes, and more. If you've been thinking about purchasing a new RV, now is the ultimate chance to score an exclusive deal on your RV dream. Don't miss it. RV Wars, once again, March 27 to 30 in the old Lowe's building here on the West End, 9603 165 Avenue. Swing on by. You like to go out. Were you ever an RV guy? Like
Not really. The folks had a tent trailer when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. But in my life, we've always been car campers and tenters. So.
Trev, you ever RV'd? Driven an RV, ridden an RV, slept in an RV, partied in an RV?
Fortunately not.
Fortunately?
Unfortunately
Oh,
not.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks nice.
I've always wanted to tow a...
That's terrifying.
I've RAV4 behind it.
I've towed several. It's terrifying.
I want one day.
An RV?
Yeah.
Yeah. But to live in?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
as your primary residence. We've talked about living in the van, right?
We have talked about this. He has to. Have you put that proposal together yet?
Oh, no.
For the show sponsor?
That one's, we'll keep that on the deal for now.
I think.
Is this a Friday thing? Did I miss?
Yeah, I think we've come up with quite a plan for the young man.
Yes.
Oh, I love this. It involves a van or
hopefully a trailer of some sort.
A trailer.
Yep, potentially. More on that later in the week.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
Consider my interest perked.
Right?
I think everyone's will be. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Let's get into that's good right now for the Italian Center Shop.
Good.
Did have some pasta from there. The best thing is elbow macaroni spaghetti. Yeah. You can go there and you can find some really weird pastas that you don't normally have. And as a guy with no drop of Italian blood,
Look at this pasta.
No.
It's shaped like a duck.
Yeah.
What will they think of next?
They looked like little spaghettios, but they were more like robust.
A robust spaghettio.
Yeah, my wife does
a robusto spaghetti.
chicken broth, garlic, and Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of pepper, all in a pan.
Yeah. Cacio e pepe.
Close. It's not that, but it's something along those lines. But it's a little pasta. It looks like a little.
Cacio e pepe
a circle.
is just like
that the one?
Cheese, pepper,
Cheese, pepper,
a little bit of olive oil, and then
is there not an egg involved in that?
Nope.
No.
Anyways, sautéed garlic though. You'll usually, Usually start with the olive oil and the garlic, just to kind of pre-season the whole thing, and then.
But you can go there, get some weird pastas if you want, like myself, and some sauces.
Unique.
That's you. I think I've used weird twice this morning. And you've said both unique both times. Yeah,
that's not weird.
Oh, I like weird in a good way. You take such a negative tone for
it's a
weird.
pejorative term. Weird is pejorative.
Not for me.
You're not using it in the pejorative, but people can hear it in the pejorative.
I'm weird.
You are unique.
Check out their house-made lasagna, fresh daily, ready for you to take home, heat, and serve. It's really quick. It's really good. It's homemade, house-made sauces, locally made pasta, available in Alberta, raised pork, and Piedmontese beef. I'm butchering that word again. You couldn't even get that one. I remember I
nailed it. Because of course he did.
Because he's
Italian.
Yeah. Roasted veggie varieties as well. You can get individual or family size, or pre-order a party-sized option to feed a larger crowd, and that is what they can do as well. If you need the office lunch or something along those lines, if you're hosting a nice party, Italian Center, that's good. That's your stop.
That's good.
That's the shop.
Or just a dozen donuts. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, the bakery. Bakery cannot be beat.
Especially right now. You're getting ready to head in. You're like, you know what? Let's start the week off on the right foot. Whole staff's getting donuts.
A dozen cream horns, if you will. Why not? And maybe a little shot of espresso as well.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
Basically, you can take a trip around the horn here. As I mentioned, spring season. And that did kick off last week officially with the vernal equinox. We have everything going on right now, it seems, aside from the from the gridiron football variety of the NFL CFL.
Everything is happening.
Which the CFL Combine did just wrap up over the weekend as well. But you're right, everything is happening. MLB opening day this week. March Madness in full swing. Oilers down the stretch as they will, and just taking a look at the schedule, I know we kind of talked about the Kings and having a pair. They will play in LA Saturday, April 5th. The Kings are here April 14th. But 3 games against the Sharks in that time. They do visit Vegas once. They do host the high-flying Blues, and they'll go to Winnipeg as well. You have another BOA against the Flames here in Edmonton this Saturday, I do believe, if that's the 29th, and it is. So the Oilers this week hosting the Stars, visiting the Kraken Thursday, that Stars game Wednesday, and then at home to the Flames Saturday. So this is like, you can now see it crystallizing before your eyes. You know the opponents. You mentioned the strength of it. It does seem to, there's some tough matches, as always. It's not a cakewalk. But a schedule that you would take. You'd take your arm off if it was offered to you.
It's a really good mix of beatable opponents and measuring sticks.
Sure. Yeah. Like those,
which is kind of what you want heading down the stretch. You want to be able to check in on what is the reality of this team, and then you also need some less stressful nights.
If things do go down to the wire, the final game will be in San Jose April 16th. The second final one will be at home to the Kings. So we'll see if the standings continue to be as tight as they are. You might have the ball in your court, as it were, for that final game, maybe against the Sharks to do something or leapfrog a Kings team to get into that second spot. So Oilers season, again, where it's at right now, Trent Frederick, another week I mean, that he should be closer to somewhat getting news. I know Ryan Rishaug will join us later in the show. We'll kind of quiz him about that and the other walking wounded in terms of 97 and 29. But, I mean, NBA, again, that season coming. Oil Kings are in the playoffs, so they'll be doing some playoff hockey here against the Prince Albert Raiders. Formula One is on, although I have not watched it yet, which was evident as well. And yeah, I mentioned the madness too. So I don't know. I know somebody texted in about Rachel Homan as well. Good morning, Eric, Trevor, and Comrade Will. Homan is absolutely terrifying. I always thought Jennifer Jones would be the one in an alley brawl who would beat you up with a baseball bat. Homan, however, she's just going to come up behind you and cut your throat. Congratulations to her and her team. Yeah. And that's how she kind of did the women's world.
Yeah, Rachel Homan doesn't let you reach the alley. Right? You agree on the time and the place, and then half an hour before it happens, she's shivving you. Never saw it coming.
Kind of how the week went, though. And that's, as you mentioned, the opponents that she beat later on didn't do so well early on.
Right. She had 2 losses on the week.
She gave them the hope.
And she avenged both losses. And then the one loss that the Swiss club faced, it was against Canada, and then lost again in the final. In fact, made him quit. Like, that's the other thing is they shook hands after 9 because the Swiss were like, we don't have a chance.
And TGL finals as well, kicking off tonight. Best of 3, Atlanta Drive taking on New York Golf Club. So just end of Valspar. Victor Hovland got the win.
Fantastic.
Yesterday in the golf. So it's all going on right now, which you love to see. Mm-hmm. That Alejandro Kirk extension, that's good. Yeah, Jay's giving him a big payday. That was something to see as well. Hampton Steve says, are there going to be sanctions against Iwanek for his charge slander and all the SGs that he dropped on Friday's show? Will gets a pass from me as I just like him better. Was this a thing? Was Matt?
Yeah, he was goofing around with that. I have no problem with it because I think it's stupid as well. But I understand you guys have your sacred
Trev, what's
cows.
going on here?
Yeah, I was going to wait to get into this on Wednesday when Dusty was back.
Yeah, like honestly, it does feel more like Dustin has to deal with it because it's his sacred cow.
Yeah, like this is, I mean, I did what I could. I was outnumbered. I'm not saying Will was on Maddie's side, but he was definitely poking the bear.
I don't know what you're talking about. I had your back the entire time.
Here it is. This
are you out of your mind right now?
Yeah, that's funny.
Are you? Did you get hit on the head
at
the concert?
Yeah, Will was defending me the whole time. I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
Trevor, never admit your mistake. I just set that up for you.
Well, I know. I could tell.
You needed to plead victim. Continue with the victimhood.
No, that is. You were absolutely. You and Maddie were just ripping me apart.
Lies.
They were saying SG,
lies.
and you know
like
what?
The full word, like silly goose, like the full word.
Oh, gosh,
I would never. I would never.
Well, you did, okay? And Maddie had no
I cannot
problem,
believe this.
No problem.
After all I've done for you, Trevor, you do me dirty like this?
Yeah, well, no, you know what? You made me feel terrible on Friday, actually, because there's nothing I could do. I wanted to mute Maddie's mic so bad, but he looked at me and he was like, he gave me the look, and I was like, oh,
so when
gosh,
seen that look before.
When I brought in that gift for you, that didn't do it enough. That new watch that I bought you, all of a sudden you're saying that wasn't enough to make you feel better?
I don't remember this watch, but
you lost the watch.
You did not give me a watch. Okay,
I can't believe it either.
$300.
Anyway,
not a Rolex or anything, but it was engraved.
Not full sale
with
GP.
An ode of friendship on the back.
No.
Oh, you had it engraved too?
Yes,
oh,
of
you
course.
took the time to engrave a watch.
No, I didn't.
This is disgusting.
It was a $5 watch. I threw it out immediately. Anyway,
listen.
I couldn't. I was outnumbered. I didn't know what to do. The nasties were against me too.
I don't know where to go from here when the trust is betrayed.
We're ripping me as well.
You know what? You're a very nasty person.
So Krager says the stigma was a lie for Charge then. Hey, was that kind of what it is?
And they were both ripping Charge, and I was defending it as much as I could. And then Maddie, he grabs Charlie over there, and I'm like, you do not have the right to hold on to Charlie, the chin strap penguin. And he...
Some people are
damn
saying
near threw
that
Charlie
Trevor
off
pushed
the
him
screen.
to do it.
Well, Troll says, I can't believe Trevor would treat you like this.
Thank you.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah.
Thank
Troll
you.
being a troll. There it is.
Now you're insulting Troll.
No, that's
like you haven't spit on our friendship enough. Now you have
Can't
to
insult the
go
listeners.
after
They can
poor
insult us. We can't insult them.
Troll.
This is you, Will.
And after the
was
Atif
hurt.
stuff
And
earlier from...
Oh, yeah, right.
unreal.
I'm laughing.
Untrustworthy.
I know what you're doing, and
Untrustworthy and nasty.
it's not even affecting me. It's not affecting me at all, actually.
A nasty, nasty man.
Big Slam Nasty says, Maddie is Dallas Aikens taking the donuts and coffee out of the media room and replacing it with fruit and vegetables.
You could see it in his eyes.
He doesn't have a chin strap going. Hey, he can grow some pretty gnarly facial hair. I mean, he gets
Maddie?
it in. He could if he wanted to.
Well, I
but
think I
he's
saw
choosing
one
not
coming,
to.
which is funny. It's ironic because he's so against it, but I'm pretty sure he has one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's tough to be a champion
like
of the month when you're not growing one.
I don't really like him. Well, you got one, Maddie.
Yeah.
Hey, well.
Don't drag me into this. I've done enough for you. And you've insulted me.
More than enough, some would say.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
Maybe it was the Friday show that I missed and the hilarity that ensued. Hey, I mean, that's one of those things. So Hampton Steve again, the Alejandro Kirk extension. Will, you mentioned the Jays. I mean, it's tough company you keep in that division, as always, and we know that. I mean, that's no news. But Alejandro Kirk extended. He's a rich man now. 5-year extension. Cool, good, right? I mean, we have a bit of a home run song for him that we'll play the odd time during the summer. Brought to you by Totem Outfitters. 5 years, $58 million, which, I mean, in baseball terms is, whatever.
Is fair for what he produces.
Fair pocket, yeah. Jays, once again, having a pretty decent spring, I guess you could say. I don't know if that'll translate too much into the regular season, but we shall see.
No, they're a solid ball club. Like, you look around at all their positions, like, they don't have a lot of question marks. The question mark is, can it stay healthy? And can the guys who need to produce in the moment? Like, can this team suffer another power outage from their power, like from their big bats, for another month and a half to start a season like they did last year?
Health is obviously health, and then the depth to answer that health if it does go down. But I just, again, I look at that division and even a wild card.
Like, the Yankees are not as good of a team as they were last year.
Okay, but
right, like,
they'll be around though.
Yes.
Traditionally, and the whole Vladdy stuff. Like, I feel like I don't get a good vibe off of them, shall we say?
Okay. The flip side to the Vladdy thing is, as a Jays fan, you wish that they would have made a choice, right? Either give him all the money in the world and secure him for the future, or
get
move him on and get something in return. They've gone for option C, which is don't sign him and keep him, which, when it comes to results, is probably actually going to be beneficial to this season of the Jays, in that it's a show me season for Guerrero. So it tends to work out, just not long term. But when it comes to this season, hopefully you have a motivated bat in your lineup.
780-218-9999. Your thoughts on that, as well as we continue on with that's good.
That's good.
And again, I don't think we can talk about enough either that Canada men's soccer team win against the United States. That was probably, I mean, that was your good.
Yeah. Listen, winning the thing would have been better, but winning the thing would have meant that they didn't play the United States. So, making the best of a bad situation, they did it in being able to have Panama hand the United States a loss, and then Canada do the same thing. Chef's kiss. And the manner in which they did it, with David scoring the goal that he did in the moment that he did. Just a really solid effort from that Canadian squad.
And you're expecting a big payday that he can cash in on sometime
He's going to make
too,
some money.
Yeah.
Like there's team sport, and what those guys, I mean, the NBA is pretty close. Like, NBA players now make soccer player type money, but when it comes to what David's going to be able to command, just to even stay in France, he's gonna get a boatload.
Easy to score in that Farmers League, I would say, as well. But I don't know how that translates to another or to success elsewhere. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. Nasty chat's coming along as well. 44 likes away from changing 200. We can do that easily, at least before Rishaug here, as he is coming up in hour number 3. Also, kind of easy trivia, 3 questions too many. The Marmot Basin Snow Report and the wrap for William Huff. Did you do trivia again Friday as well?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, and did we get back in the good graces in the win column?
Yeah.
Following Thursday's...
I made it stupid easy trivia. Yeah.
It was pretty easy on Thursday as well. It was just, I think it caught the gentleman off guard.
Yeah.
Trevor went 5 for 5, right? It was, you would have gone to Mr. Mike's. You would have been enjoying there.
Yeah.
This looks like a good one. A little interesting, couple interesting turns, though.
Oh, be ready to be shamed.
You had to make it political, didn't you?
Yeah, be ready to be shamed.
Had to make it political. Can't you just shut up and
Shut up and dribble?
On the, yeah. You know?
Can't take it anymore. Yeah, that's what I do.
Nielson Show coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio as well. Get your texts in. $20 to A&W still in line for text of the day today. Maybe it has something to do with Atif and Trevor's burgeoning friendship here. And Atif, if you missed it earlier, he's out apparently, ripping up his non-existent EST membership. And I don't know, maybe starting his own enterprise or something like that. But
one can only hope. I believe in him.
You've already subscribed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've already subscribed. 780-218-9999 is where you can go. Want to get also thoughts on the Oilers. Obviously, Oilers heavy, Oilers dominant show as usual. But the lines from Saturday's win against Seattle, Nuge, Arvidsson, Podkolzin, and Henrique also getting the goal, adding to Nugent Hopkins' hat trick. Hyman Perry, just the overall, Jeff Skinner as well, and Trev, you talked earlier, and just if you could reiterate about the depth of this lineup, specifically downward, and what you saw and what you liked, and maybe glimpses of what you might see moving forward here, at least during the stretch run into the playoffs, and perhaps beyond.
Yeah, well, it's just been nice because I remember last year it was changing lines every single game. And going into the playoffs, they were changing lines. So they've been testing it all season again. And all the combinations they've been able to do, they've done, I should say. They finally, it looks like they finally have found something in Podkolzin, Nugent Hopkins, and Arvidsson. And going against the LA Kings or whoever they play, like that's not just a one-line team the Kings are. No team in the West is if you're a playoff team, right? So being able to have a third line is going to be huge for the Oilers going into the playoffs. And now that you have that line, it's like, okay, this is good, but what does this mean for the second line? Like, what can we tinker with this line come playoffs? There's a little bit more testing to get done, however. But, you know, they need to figure something out. They need to, like, the top six has to be solid, and you can't tinker too much going into the playoffs. So, I don't know. But it's refreshing to see. And all these players finally, the questions are starting to be answered. It's like, okay, you know, maybe Henrique does have some offensive upside that we haven't seen. And you're looking at Jeff Skinner, like, oh, wow, like this guy should have been in the top six way long ago because he's contributed in the last few games. And it's not just him. It's Victor Arvidsson. He's getting off the schneid. A lot more players are finally starting to contribute offensively, which is huge because we've talked about it at length this season. It's just the Oilers, the players that they let go and the players that they brought in, they weren't able to get it done, and they're starting to get it done. So it's refreshing. It's nice to see, and here's hoping it continues to go, and I think it will. I really do.
Yeah, the story of last year's playoffs was head coach Knobloch's ability to make adjustments.
Yeah,
and it was
make
good.
adjustments.
He was doing good
from game to game. Every time they had a problem that needed to be solved, he was able to go into that bag of tools and come up with the right combination to make it work. And it is because he plays around with it, and it can be frustrating in the regular season as fans to see that because you're left going, well, he had such a good thing, why would you go away with it?
But I think we have seen every combination, like any possible combination of players together we've seen.
Yes,
and the comparison that stood out for me in last year's playoffs was the Dallas Stars. That is an incredibly consistent hockey team that does not go away from what works, and they ran into an Oilers squad that made an adjustment, and then Dallas didn't.
Yeah.
Dallas just stood around for 2 games kind of shrugging their shoulders going, oh, we don't know what to do. And so I'd much rather have an organization that feels flexible and willing to change on the fly than one that is just super confident in their system. To misquote Mike Tyson, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And the Edmonton Oilers seem like a team that is willing to get punched in the face and change their plan.
Dallas Stars will be here Wednesday night, of course. That rounds out the 4-game road trip. The Stars in action tonight against the Wild. Taking a look at them as well. I mean, that is a team there, and I think Dreger mentioned them as well too. Kind of in that there are teams like the Kings, and then there are teams like
Dallas
the Stars.
Dallas is a contender. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Dallas is a contender.
Bit of a
Vegas
cut
is a
above.
contender.
Yeah.
Right. Colorado, just because of the names on the marquee, will always be a contender. Right. When you've got a Cale Makar on your back end, you have a chance to win a Stanley Cup. And the Oilers are a contender. But I know Jets fan is going to be upset about it, but Jets fan, we've seen you in this situation before.
Prove him wrong.
Yeah.
But it's different this year, Will.
I hope so. Like, honestly, for Jets fans, as far as consistency of organization and where they're at, they deserve a Stanley Cup final, right? They deserve to be able to take it all the way. We'll see if they can.
Darren mentioned too quickly that, you know, the division is basically, well, it is the Golden Knights to lose now at this point, but do you think it is too far out of sight right now for the
not
Oilers?
at all.
No, that's
No.
yeah, I can't. I mean, if Vegas continues to play at the clip they're playing at, sure, it'll be tough to catch, but 5 points back this morning, both the Kings and the Oilers have that 92 points. So, yeah, I mean, it's all still up for grabs there, but obviously, depending on how Vegas and if they continue to put up, you know, 750 win percentage over the next little while, that'll be tough.
Weren't the Oilers in a similar position
track.
to this last year? Like they'd really closed the gap between themselves and Vancouver, and then they kind of played 500-ish hockey, and the Canucks put the pedal down on the like we've been in these sorts of situations before. I don't know if the Oilers can close the gap, but it's not impossible.
No, exactly. Well, not mathematic anyways, but
Yeah.
I just don't see the consistency as of yet from those teams because every week is
That's
again,
right.
it all changes. So, yeah, we'll see. Again, exciting stretch drive here. That's good for the stretch drive and
That's
everything
good.
going on right now. Basically, it is a busy time in sport. Hour number 3 still to come. As mentioned, kind of easy trivia. If you want to get in for that, 780-218-9999. We'll be sending one of you to Mr. Mike's. We got the questions here from Will. You need 3 out of 5 for that. 3 questions to Minnie as well on the way from Park Mazda. Ryan Rishaug will be by at 8:30. We'll get his thoughts on the weekend. It was for the Oilers. Some updates, I guess, on a few players, the walking wounded of sorts, and look ahead to Wednesday's game against the Dallas Stars. A Marmot Basin snow report and the Raptor William Huff. You mentioned Jasper Bound. Is that coming up soon? Or
I'll
what?
be out there Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Anything special, concert or anything like that, or is
just heading out. I'll see you up on the knob.
I got the snow report right here. It is in from Brian, so we thank him very much for that. But once again, if you want to play trivia, 780-218-9999. Bronco Nick says Oilers went 4-4-2 last April. Bang on with the 500. And a couple people wanting to get on in the trivia. So we'll hit a break right now. We'll hit a sports update for Windsor Plywood Leduc with YouTube Trev and be back with a little trivia on the hour number 3. It is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser and for Dustin Nielsen here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, edmontonsportstalk.com.
In the NHL last night, Ryan McLeod's 4 points helps the Sabres get past the Jets 5-3. Blues all over the Predators 4-1. The Golden Knights double up on the Lightning 4-2. Taylor Hall gets a hat trick for the Hurricanes in a 5-2 win over the Ducks. And Warren Foegele nets his 20th of the season in a 7-2 Kings win over the Bruins. Tonight, just 4 games in the NHL as the Devils welcome in the Canucks. The Blue Jackets play the Islanders. The Stars host the Wild. And the Hockey Club and Red Wings go at it at 7 o'clock. And the Oilers will be back in action on Wednesday when they welcome in the Stars. In the WHL, the Oil Kings finish off their season with a 4-1 win over the Red Deer Rebels. The Oil Kings will now hit the road for Game 1 this Friday to take on the Prince Albert Raiders. Puck drop going at 7 o'clock. And the madness was in full effect yesterday as number 1 Duke defeats number 9 Baylor 89-66. Number 1 Florida gets past number 8 UConn 77-75. And just one upset as number 6 Ole Miss beats number 3 Iowa State 91-78. The madness continues later this week on Thursday. 8 games in the association last night, including the Raptors falling to the Spurs 123-89. The Raptors will be back in action tonight in one of 8 games around the association, playing the Wizards. Tip-off for this one goes at 5 o'clock. To curling we go. Rachel Homan and Team Canada are world champions once again. Homan's rink defeated the Swiss 7-3 to win back-to-back gold medals. This win has officially clinched an Olympic berth for Canada in 2026. Canada wasn't done there as the men's team defeats the Americans 2-1, securing 3rd place at this year's CONCACAF Nations League. This sports update brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Got a big shot off this stick of mine. I keep those lanes wide open all the time. Drysidle setting up shop, McDavid's flying. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. As sure as new G is slick and Kane is tough. We're going all the way this year, enough is enough. And we can play 'em straight or we can play 'em rough. I'm feeling fine when I walk the line. You know I shoot that puck so very, very hard. The name on the back of my jersey says Bouchard. And we're gunning for first place, not a wild card. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. Well, we're counting on our skill and not on luck. And it's gonna get real when they drop that puck. And we won't be done until we hoist the cup. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. I got a big shot off this stick of mine. I keep those lanes wide open all the time. Drysidle setting up shop, McDavid's flying. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line.
8:03, the final and third hour of the Nielson Show today, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot out in Fort Saskatchewan. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen, who returns Wednesday, the day the Oilers return to play as well, at home to the Dallas Stars. YouTube Trev, you heard there as well. He's wrangled somebody up for kind of easy trivia, which we'll get to in a couple of seconds. We are coming to you live as well from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. Reed Wilkins' favorite place for chicken. Him and the Glue Guy will be by later today, 3 to 6. Reed Wilkins Show, Monday to Friday here on EST. Paris Jewelers inbox filling up as well, 780-218-9999. Pat asks, let's not gloss over Rachel Homan on an absolute heater to win the Worlds. He just got in the truck this morning. So
Okay.
So I was like, well, we haven't glossed over it at all. Lots of stuff going on. No, we've brought her up a bit, and we probably will by the time the show ends again. So, yeah, congrats to Rachel Homan. Back-to-back world championships for her. Olympic bound, just, I mean, she's a killer. She's a stone-cold killer.
They made Switzerland tap, man. They stole 2 in the 9th, and Swiss were like, "Yeah, we don't stand a chance."
Scotland game 2 was
just
out of
shake hands.
Yeah, it was out of sight, kind of there. So, no, we'll get to Reach again. But if you have any questions as well, 3 questions too many is coming up for Park Mazda. We got Ryan Rishaug. He'll be by from the Got Your Back podcast at around 8:30. We'll take a deeper dive. I know somebody in the nasty chat on YouTube was like, "I thought this was an Oilers pod."
I don't think it's ever been identified.
Podcast. No, I mean, well, it is Edmonton Sports Talk. I must emphasize, and the sports gives us some space to
yeah.
It's a big tent.
Yeah, and the Edmonton thing is just more a geographic recognition of where we broadcast from.
That's true. Yes. The talk, that's debatable as we try our best to slither through a show.
A parlay.
Yeah. So Nasty Chat once again on YouTube or on the iHeart TuneIn Radio apps if you're listening and or watching today. Pound that thumbs up, hit the like as well, and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free of charge. And 30 away from the 200 shot. We should get that before Rishaug. We can get that before Rishaug today at around 8:30. Trev, who's on the phone?
This is Christopher.
Will, you had a question for...
Well, I just wonder, does he prefer Christopher or Topher?
Topher. That's a... what do you think, Chris?
Tony.
Tony.
Okay, well,
that's completely off the board. I appreciate that.
I like it, though. It's a strong name. So I guess we'll call you Tony. Have you played before, and if so, what's your record?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so Tony the Rook here. You're playing for Mr. Mike's Tone. Are you ready to stake your claim? 2-course steak dinner right now, $39.99. Emperor Caesar salad or a rustic onion soup. Tender 7-ounce sirloin steak with béarnaise butter and garlic mashed potatoes. Savory toppings included. Eat locally, enjoy casually at Mr. Mike's. Tony, you are playing for a gift card to Mr. Mike's, where you can stake your claim. If you've listened before, you kind of know how it goes. You need 3 out of 5. Yeah. The ticker will start after I read the first question. Do you have any other questions?
I'm good.
Okay, good luck. When do the Oilers play next?
Wednesday.
Who do they play?
Dallas.
Name an injured Oiler.
McDavid.
Name one not named McDavid or Draisaitl.
Skinner.
With an election scheduled for the 28th, where is your polling location?
Stony Plain.
All right. He's going to Mr. Mike's.
But where in Stony Plain?
Yeah.
Heritage Pavilion.
Are you kidding me? That's right. What do you think?
He's not injured. That's 3 out of 5.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
That's a peddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Ooh, you better believe that's a peddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
That's a peddling.
The first year, we took it to the limit. Take it to the limit.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
So a win is a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a win is a win.
Yeah.
We're scoring at 3. Mm-hmm. I mean, Stuart Skinner in the concussion spotting, but no, we're not. Yeah.
Sure.
He tried.
Yeah. 3 out of 5.
An acceptable answer would have been, Evander Kane or Frederick. Yeah.
And the town you live in is
Kajula.
not a polling location.
No, but I think
I know.
He didn't want to be too open and forthright with his location. Not like us with Edmonton Sports Talk. You know where we are. Yeah, well, yeah, probably. Yeah,
I see.
But he's off to Mr. Mike's.
Yeah.
We don't ask you how. We just, or how many, whatever it is.
Yeah. But being from Stony Plain, I would have accepted Heritage Pavilion. I would have accepted the Legion. And if you're doing early voting, he could have said the former elementary school next to the Multicultural Center.
You would have got an 8 out of 5, I think.
Yeah.
If you were. Mm-hmm. Troll is back in. Switzerland tapped faster than Bouchard in a headlock.
Hey,
that might get you to NW, Troll. That might be that is text to the standard. Could go a long way. 780-218-9999 is where you can text in. That's the Paris Jewelers inbox. $20 to NW is on the line. Regula, yes, VR Montenegro. So that's what you said. I thought you said Kajula. I was like, what? He's having a decent season down in.
You've moved within the last several years. Do you know where your polling location is?
That's a great question.
Right?
Yeah, I'll have to check. I did. I lived in the space I did for so long that I kind of enjoyed the walk. It was a nice, close walk. My wife and I would go to the school, the elementary school.
Yeah.
So, yes, this is now something I'll have to... I did have a few candidates, though, door knocking.
Did you?
Over the... Yeah, so that was pretty interesting.
What about
it's
you,
good to get involved.
Do you still count your residence in Pincher Creek?
I do not.
Okay, so do you know where your polling location is?
I have not a clue.
This would be...
I need to figure it out,
This is the only level of politics I care about.
Sure, yeah.
Do you know your polling location?
Getting active.
And are you registered to vote?
Where can I get that info?
I am registered.
Elections.ca.
Oh, Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's simple.
Okay. That's not that bad at all.
April 28th. Get your ducks in a row.
Mark that down for what we learned on the show today.
Or,
Get back to the rink.
or as I do, just go do early voting. It just simplifies it.
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he must repeat that his dealership is not a polling location. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
No, but they could get you to one. I bet on the 28th.
Drive in style.
If you booked a test drive with them, they would allow you to include quick trip to the voters booth.
Actually, that'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
Helping you exercise your political right. Park
That's
Mazda,
right.
your dealer for life.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a real good slogan. Social media, boys. Trev, you want to know where people can follow you online? I know we sometimes exchange messaging on Instagram. I know you and Will have swapped Snapchat accounts. You have a highly successful YouTube channel. Can you tell the people where they can find
Will
you?
and I have a 6-day streak going on Snapchat, believe it or not. So
Streak.
that's kind of cool. And that's
Jeez.
it. Have a good one, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I'm wearing no clothes every time.
Absolutely.
I do it.
Standing
too.
in the mirror.
Yeah. Actually, no, I do it. I bend.
I'm on the
go
toilet.
backwards and then I shoot it through my leg. Like
This is like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, you're
it's
really getting the camera.
It's a real
work.
journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice photos, I will say. Anyway. YouTube _Trev on Instagram or YouTube _Trev on Twitter. The chase for 1,000 followers continues. I thought I had it, but
Why are you not on Blue Sky yet?
apparently I don't. I did have Blue Sky.
Yeah.
And then I deleted it.
Join Will.
You deleted the wrong one.
I don't know what I was never on it. It was like the exact same thing as Twitter, kind of. I'm just like, meh.
Except less Nazis.
Yes. I noticed that. I did notice that.
Less.
And if you want to check out my YouTube channel,
There's no
Above
place
Average.
without them. There's just fewer.
You're on Blue Sky as well, as you mentioned.
Nah, I don't care. Yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
1L Will.
I will never respond, so don't worry about it.
Okay. But you still have that Instagram account going on, which is
Well, that's...
This is also a follow. Give that one a follow.
Well, it's pretty beautiful.
Your Twitter account still exists.
My muse. My muse.
At Will Fraser for hire, the number 4. And
I never know how to spell it.
I'm going to retweet the your second last tweet, September 19, 2017. You had Pierre Turgeon lighting the ice in Montreal.
Good enough.
I'm going to retweet that right now. I also had Fraserisms. It was a hashtag you can find on Twitter. It was just I would take things that you said during the show and tweet them out.
Perfect.
I used you as a muse for quite some time here.
That's the snake eating its tail right there.
Look, there's even a topless photo of you. I type in Fraserisms and it's...
You know what? That's me in my better days.
Man, your transformation has...
I miss that guy.
I do
so
too,
much.
yeah.
He was pleasant.
He was fun.
He was fun to be around.
A little plump.
Yeah. Yeah. I gave great hugs.
Oh, man. Yeah. You didn't want to leave those.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can follow Edmonton Sports Talk on Twitter at YEG Sports Talk. We have an Instagram account as well. And once again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll be up to date on anything and everything going on EST. Question number 1, gentlemen. When it comes to the Winnipeg Jets and it comes to the Washington Capitals, the only two teams right now in the NHL at or over 100 points, which one goes farther in the postseason? Because I know Penner's Pancakes says, I'm honestly not 100% sold on either the Jets.
Great question.
Or the Caps.
They do. They both feel like teams that could get knocked off in the first round.
And maybe not just them, but also their path and who they might be taking on. I mean, that factors in as well. But who do you think has the most rope, the most run here in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
I think you gotta go with the Jets.
So they would be taking on...
Especially if they line up against like a Calgary
well,
in
that's
the
what I'm
first
saying.
round.
A Blues might be... That could be if they keep doing what they're doing, right? Like, there's one goaltender that can outduel a Hellebuck.
I still like them over the Blues, even though the Blues are red hot. I just feel like the Blues are a bit of a house of cards.
Yeah.
Like that, once you find a chink in their armor, you're going to be able to exploit it.
Yeah. Capitals and Habs if the playoffs start today.
Yeah, see, and that feels far more fraught.
Okay.
For the Caps. Like, I don't think there's a top team out there that wants to take on a Montreal Canadiens team in the first round. First of all, the Bell Center in Montreal it'll be really intimidating for whatever team goes in there. Yeah. And they're just such a wild card. They're so naive. Like they don't even know they're not supposed to be there. And that is a scary first round opponent.
Trev, who do you think?
Oh, I don't like this. I think they're both like. I know the Jets have had their struggles, but I think they should get past round one, and if they do, watch out, kind of thing. And I don't know. This is a different Caps team. This isn't the Capitals of last year. They are way better. And so it was who will go further.
Yes,
I honestly,
and it's tough to look past the opening round. Obviously, that might be the one, but
I don't know. There's something about this Capitals team. I like them. I think they can go really, really far.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Question number 2. Today is National Cocktail Day.
Why did you have to say it like that?
National Cocktail Day.
No, still didn't like it.
National Cocktail Day.
Better.
Today's National Cocktail Day.
No, see there it's again.
What's your favorite cocktail?
Old fashioned.
Smoked?
Oh,
even
more
better.
Merrier.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So any kind of...
There was a restaurant in Banff. It's now switched hands. It was called Salt Lick. And they made a honeycomb old fashioned that was smoked. Knock your socks off. Like you could just spend your day there.
Do you care about the garnish? Orange, cherry, any of that in there? Like
No.
it doesn't matter to
No, I
you
care
how
about
that's going in?
the whiskey.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Okay.
Or the bourbon being used. Like I care about that. I don't care so much about the garnish.
Trev, favorite cocktail?
Oh, this is a good one. I think I have to go with the Caesar.
Good Canadian boy. I like that. Trev.
Yeah, thank you. I down
Let's
Caesars
go.
like no tomorrow.
Let's go.
Do you make them at home?
Yes, I do. That's like the one drink. Like I'll take a mouthful and then I'm right back in for another mouthful. The mouthfuls just don't stop and then I'm done. Like I don't sip it. They're gone. I can
Got to have doubles too, hey?
I
You
have
make it
doubles,
in a short
triples.
glass. I like them in a short glass.
You name it. I'll drink
I'd
it.
be willing to say it might be the most Canadian drink there is.
It was made in Calgary.
Yeah.
Origin.
I prefer a Bloody Mary.
You son of
a... Call me, whatever.
You don't.
You dumb Yank, right?
I wasn't going to say
Get out of here.
I don't give two.
You don't love it? Why don't you get out?
I think it's because we don't get them made like that. So whenever I do have the chance to have a Bloody Mary, it's something different. Yeah, I don't mind a tin of tomato juice. I'll drink a tin.
Soup.
You sick bastard.
Delicious.
That's too bad at LT.
I drank like 78 when I was down in
you
Vegas
think you
last
know
time.
a guy.
Yeah, I thought I knew.
You think you know a guy. Then he drops that piece of horse crap on you.
LT.
You can get creative too. Do you do anything wild with your Caesar there, Trev? Like an extra shake of the Leah and Perrins?
I like
or
them
anything?
dirty.
Okay.
I like my cocktails dirty.
Really
My
pulpy.
Caesar dirty. Yeah, not so much pulpy, but
the mold at the bottom of the mott's. Yeah, give me that.
Nothing wrong with like I want a lime in there and just a celery stick.
More
Tickles my
clam.
fancy. But the Hudson's Rim. The Hudson's Rim is the best. It's the best rim ever. It's the best Caesar ever. It's perfect. Everything about
Nice
the
and
Hudson's.
spicy.
It's nice and spicy. Got a little
Spicy
bit
rim.
of dill in there. And the rim is the dry rub that they use for their wings. So it's
Like you really love to be rimmed, right?
I do.
That's what
it's got to be spicy.
You love a spicy rim.
I lick that rim so quick. It's gone.
If you want a good Caesar topping as well, might I add, Trev, the Refinery Grill down the road, and they're famous for their, the smoked meat sandwich. They'll give you a toothpick with just a big hunk of just smoked Montreal whatever meat on there. That's where it's at. Like if you can get the Caesar topping, I find that's why I asked you about the garnish. But that Caesar topping can be key. You can keep your bean or your I don't. But you get a piece of that bocconcino cheese or whatever.
What about the rare
or
pickled
pepperoni?
asparagus?
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, those are okay.
Meat and cheese, though, on top of a Caesar.
I like it.
I might trade in my Bloody Mary card.
Okay.
Oh, now you're coming back.
I can. It's a fluid game here.
You know what? Enough. Pick a side.
Also, if you're asking me what my favorite cocktail, a martini.
What kind of martini? Martini is a style of cocktail. Tell me the exact martini that you want.
Gin, very dirty, extra olives.
So vermouth?
Ugh.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gin, vermouth. Okay.
Lots of olives. Like loaded. Like
pearled onion?
What's this?
Pearled onion?
No.
So just olive.
Lots of olives.
Okay.
Lots of those little olives in there. I want it to be like an olive.
So gin, sweet.
I want an espresso glass full of olives with a little bit of martini on top. Sure.
The chilled martini. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I can build you one of those.
I also would take an espresso martini.
Shaken? Stirred? What do you want?
Shaken.
Shaken.
Yeah.
Most people prefer just the stir. You don't
No. I had them down at the Bell.
So you like a little bit of crystalline in the
Bell and Scona, where Dusty is having the Trey and Tyrell Ford hot stove. They housed the Christmas party for my wife. I must have drank about 23 of those there, and they were just you get the little coffee bean on top and you chew it.
Oh, so a coffee bean martini then. That's a different martini.
They had the bean as the garnish.
Okay.
Delicious.
Okay.
Delicious. Question number 3. What do your lines look like for the Oilers tomorrow Wednesday, I should say, against the Dallas Stars? And again, the last time we saw the Oilers, just to reiterate, I know we've been talking about this. We will see, and we will ask Ryan Rishaug coming up here just on the statuses of Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. I'm not one to rush. I think most people would agree right now. See how it goes. A much stiffer test in the Dallas Stars than the Seattle Kraken, depth-wise, so that will be put to the sword. But Nugent Hopkins between Podkolzin and Arvidsson, as YouTube Trev was talking about, Henrique, Perry, and Hyman, Janmark, Skinner, Brown, Ryan, Jones, and Kapanen. Would you do anything or move anything around there from that forward group?
You could swap out Podkolzin with Kapanen, in my opinion, and I know maybe that just doesn't work for some.
There's no wrong answer here. You
could flip those. But in this case, with their lack of depth, you don't mess with a winning lineup.
Sure, and Skinner may be on the third. Would you move him around anywhere, Trev, or are you liking? You can also say stand pat.
Yeah, you're not changing much if you're changing anything. I'd probably go Corey Perry, swap him down to the third, and bring Jeff Skinner up.
Yep.
But if they don't, I wouldn't be too mad.
No.
This lineup worked last game for him. So, like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or is that the saying? Whatever the saying is.
Derek Ryan, you keep where he.
Yeah, I like Darren Ryan there. Good voice, good veteran leader.
You mentioned, you called that. Yeah, the veteran.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Matt Hendricks. I remember McDavid, it was early in his years, second year, maybe first year, but he just spoke so highly, even though Hendricks wasn't playing, just having a presence of himself, being in the room, it meant a lot for the team. It really did. And there was one post game, McDavid, he was just talking so highly of having Hendricks. Even though he isn't playing, he's in the locker room. He's a great voice. And it went a long way for him. Is Derek Ryan, he's not quite that, but that's kind of how I compare it.
Yeah, a bit of a mascot-esque.
So I don't mind it.
Mascot-esque of the team. Rob from the Grove says, I voted at a church for years in Spruce. Then they moved to the Elks Hall all of a sudden. A lot of people were confused.
Yeah.
You do have to keep up on that as we were talking about the voting here. D-Rock says, I wouldn't sleep on the Blues. Neither would I. I'm surprised, and you are betting bullish on the Blues, but even I could see a world in which that first-round matchup against the Jets and the one goaltending matchup that could kind of get the Blues over the line. Where and again, Binnington v. Hellebuck.
Yes.
Again?
Oh, I know.
You kidding me?
No, there's
some
really nice season-long stories taking place here.
Edmontonian in Ontario says Moscow Mule. Tube Sock says Manhattan is my
Can't
go-to.
stand the taste of copper.
Yeah,
I don't understand the love of the Moscow Mule.
We're done stealing those mugs too from establishments. Hey, people always like to.
Some
throw
people
one of those
really
in there.
obviously really like that coppery taste. I don't like it.
Lucas says it's 2025. You can do better than celery for garnish. Fergie's prostate. Hey, Trevor, how does your okay? Blowers in Grafton has a Donair Caesar that comes with just a huge pile of Donair meat. The best. Yeah, that's the meat or cheese. A pepperoni stick, I'll take. Sausage on a stick or whatever.
Some have shrimp. I've seen pepperoni sticks.
Those little plastic swords
even
too. I don't mind.
The best one I've ever seen is a hot rod as next to the celery.
Sure.
So you actually stir it with the hot rod.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about a Harvey Wallbanger? You're the mixologist here. What's the
Harvey Wallbanger's not bad. Tom Collins is kind of one of the more friendly.
Who's he?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but
Tom Collins is gin, like a lime puree, or usually like a lime juice and soda.
Don't mind a little gin and soda.
Oh,
I don't need
gin and
the puree though. I don't.
Tonic is it's hard to beat on a summer day a gin and tonic with all the limes and lemons in the world
On a nice hot one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's 3 questions too many for the fine folks at Park Mazda. Do you have any knob adjustments, shall we say, with the Oilers lineup? Or are you kind of going with what it is for Wednesday against the Stars? 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. Nathan Big Uke. Love an espresso martini. Did someone say espresso? Yes, it's espresso. VR Montenegro wants more ice time for DR10 Derek Ryan intangibles. Yes. And a lot of debates as well in the garnishes for a Caesar. Toopsock says Caesars are heinous. I don't get that one there, but I have nothing against them.
I'm actually not a Caesar drinker myself. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're heinous. They're just not what I'm ordering.
Yeah, and I would go so far as to say I don't mind a Bloody Mary because I've had Caesars all my life, and it's there's no buzz there.
You need to keep that filth out of your mouth.
It's like drinking a beer from abroad. You're kind of like, oh, this is something new, something different. It's
yeah. If that broad peed in it, am I right?
Let's hit a sports
Trevor.
update here.
Thanks, Trev.
Yeah, he's.
I like that one. That was good.
Sports update here for Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Of course, if you're looking for a place to catch the Oilers and Stars, not in the rink on Wednesday, why don't you check out the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge? Great food, drink deals as well, and lots of TVs. You won't miss a second of the action. Sports update from Trev. We'll be back on the other side. Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back pod will be by. We'll get into Oilers chat. That's all ahead of a Marmot Basin Snow Report in the wrap for William Huff. It is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
7 games in the NHL last night. Ryan McLeod's 4 points helps the Sabres get past the Jets 5-3. Blues all over the Predators 4-1. The Golden Knights double up on the Lightning 4-2. Taylor Hall gets a hat trick for the Hurricanes in a 5-2 win over the Ducks. And Warren Foegele nets his 20th of the season in a 7-2 Kings win over the Bruins. Tonight, just 4 games in the NHL as the Devils welcome in the Canucks. The Blue Jackets play the Islanders. The Stars host the Wild, and the Hockey Club and Red Wings go at it at 7 o'clock tonight. And the Oilers will be back in action on Wednesday when they welcome in the Stars. In the WHL, the Oil Kings finish off their season with a 4-1 win over the Red Deer Rebels. The Oil Kings will now hit the road for Game 1 this Friday to take on the Prince Albert Raiders. Puck drop going at 7 o'clock. And the madness was in full effect yesterday as number 1 Duke defeats number 9 Baylor 89-66. The number 1 Florida gets past number 8 UConn 77-75. And just one upset as number 6 Ole Miss beats number 3 Iowa State 91-78. The madness continues later this week on Thursday. 8 games in the association last night, including the Raptors falling to the Spurs 123-89. The Raptors will be back in action tonight in just one of 8 games around the association, playing the Wizards. Tip-off for this one goes at 5 o'clock. To curling we go as Rachel Homan and Team Canada are world champions once again. Homan's rink defeated the Swiss 7-3 to win back-to-back gold medals. This win has officially clinched an Olympic berth for Canada in 2026. And Canada wasn't done there as the men's team defeats the Americans 2-1, securing 3rd place at this year's CONCACAF Nations League. The sports update presented by Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. With wall-to-wall TVs, daily food and drink specials, it's the place to be for every Oilers game. Every day is game day at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
$8.29. Can't really get out of that one. Yeah. Ron Este, hey, the old swamp dog.
Yeah,
it is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric Will Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen, who returns Wednesday from Disneyland. He's on a what looks like a fun family trip. I'm sure stories will be abounding on Wednesday as we also get set for the Oilers, wrapping up their 4-game homestand against the Stars. Nielson Show presented by Southport Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot right now during Truck Month out in Fort Saskatchewan. And we are coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio, where that value menu is still going. $4, 5-piece nuggets, fried pickles, mini chicken wrap, mini chicken sandwich, and the blackened cauliflower, once again, all for the delicious price of $4. 780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox. I think Troll is still in first place for text of the day, and that's $20 to A&W. But Scott from Rainwright says Will is off the rails this morning. First, a ridiculous polling question on a sports quiz, and now an outlandish joke out of nowhere. I love it, he says. So you're hitting all the high notes with out in Wainwright way today.
I thought politics was sport. Don't we all just cheer for our team no matter what?
It can be
doesn't matter what they do or what they say. I'm always going to vote for them.
A rage in the cage sometimes. Yeah. Looks like our next guest is ready right now. And every Monday at this time from the Got Your Back pod, TSN's Ryan Rishaug, and we appreciate his time this morning. Ryan, I got to start. How's that bracket looking, man? How are you doing on the March Madness?
Yeah, didn't get to one. Sorry, guys.
That's how I answer that question too, right?
Oilers, hockey. What do you want to talk about here? I don't think
TGL golf finals are going tonight as well. I don't know if you're in.
Talk a little F1 maybe. Nobody cares about my bracket. That's just I've been in town long enough and done shows long enough to know nobody cares about my bracket. So
I do. I care about you, Ryan, and everything else that you do off the Oilers beat. Fair?
Well, then let's get to the Oiler beat and away from my March Madness. Nothing.
All right. Well, you can text me later and you let me know how you did. We'll keep it between you and I. But let's get into the Oilers beat then. And again, beating the Kraken on Saturday, the point against the Jets to head into the weekend. We talked about this 4-game homestand and how you had two stiff tests and then two teams that were kind of middling, and I think they passed the middling ones. The stiffest one maybe to come Wednesday against the Stars. But just your thoughts on the point against the Jets and the win against the Kraken overall.
Yeah, I don't think, not very often you can point to any sort of silver linings when you have McDavid and Draisaitl not available. And it's not an ideal situation, but like we said when those injuries happened, if there's any potential benefit here, it's that players who don't get as many offensive touches, don't get any of that sugar time on the power play, some of these players that are going to be really important for this group down the stretch and into the playoffs, they're going to get engaged in a different way. And I think we saw that last game. Players were getting looks they don't normally get. And I mean, the Oilers shot a lot of really nice pucks into the net. There weren't a lot of just like tiny little rebounds that were tapped in. They had some guys feeling it offensively and sniping. And I think that was really good for them. So good on them. I think this group is eager to prove that it's not just a two-man team. And I think we saw that in some of the performances, guys. There was some really good step-up performances. And nobody's stepping up more right now than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in the absence of these guys.
Yeah, you're around this team every day. How important is it that it's the guys with letters on their chests that are stepping up the most?
Yeah, I mean, I think letters on the chest matters. Like Nugent Hopkins is part of the leadership group here for a reason. So yeah, he should take it upon himself that when those guys aren't available to make sure that he's leaving no stone unturned in his game to make sure. Like I think about back earlier in the season when McDavid was injured. To me, that was a turning point in Leon Draisaitl's season. And not that it needed a turning point because he was already playing good hockey. But when Connor McDavid was out of the lineup, Leon Draisaitl took it upon himself to dial in every detail in his game. And going into those sets of games, I mean, I talked about let's pay really close attention to Leon Draisaitl here. There is no room for frustration, for bad body language. There's no room for things that he can get away with when McDavid is a regular part of the lineup. He's got to dial it all in. And he did. Every single ounce of it he dialed in. He was head down, back check, forecheck. Like he was everything that he could be and did not look back from that point. His game has been spectacular since. So I think, yeah, if you're someone that wants to be counted on, if you're a leader in that room, when other leaders are out and other people are injured, you absolutely have to take it as part of your responsibility to dial in the details in your game. And I think we saw that not just from guys with letters, but I think we saw that throughout the lineup. Players really being engaged and realizing everything I do tonight is going to matter that much more because we're not just leaning on those guys. And I think like they're only human. When you have superstars in your lineup like that, it's probably human nature to kind of lean on those guys and what they're probably going to be able to do night in, night out. And they played the game like, you know, they were going to take control of it themselves. And that's great for them to feel because that's what it should be in the playoffs too.
Where's your level of concern when it comes to these two injuries? We talked with Darren Dreger earlier, and he actually tried to find the silver lining to it, saying that if you're going to have them kind of get nicked up, you want it to be several weeks before the playoffs begin and not right at the doorstep.
Yeah, I mean, so chances are you're playing through some stuff during a regular season anyways. And when you have an actual injury happen, where, okay, now there's clearly something wrong and you need time to take off. They're in a position in the standings where they can afford to let this breathe for as long as it needs to breathe, right? So they're not like they're fighting for a playoff spot and guys are going to play games where they're maybe banged up and ideally wouldn't be. So whatever injury this is, they're going to give it lots of time to heal, which is also going to give the bumps and bruises lots of time to heal. And the idea being, when Connor McDavid returns, when Leon Draisaitl returns, they return fully healed, fully fresh, and ready to take a sprinting run at the playoffs and not sort of limp in with lingering bumps and bruises. So, yeah, I agree with Dregs in that, the opportunity to get them completely healed up and ready is presenting itself. Go ahead and take it. Lean on other players. And I think that can only be a good thing because we've seen what it looks like when these guys try and grind through the playoffs through injuries, guys.
Yeah.
And it's just that literally can be the difference between the Oilers winning a cup, losing a cup. We saw it last year is the health of those two players.
We saw post-game Saturday night as well. McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, and one Trent Frederic kind of in the tunnel, giving guys fist bumps and whatnot. Any word, I guess, and we've been taking this one week to week as well, but any update or kind of updated timeline, I guess we should say, to when we see Trent Frederic? Because as Will said, this could be a good time for Draisaitl and McDavid to feel things out and everything, but we would like to see a bit of Frederic as well. Not too close, I guess, to the doorstep of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we keep asking Knobloch. There isn't a lot in the way of details. I think they're still kind of in the weeks type scenario. I don't know if it's multiple weeks or if he's, potentially going to play, maybe early next week. But that's just kind of speculating on my part. I mean, our understanding is it's a lower body, potentially an ankle. So if you're talking about a high ankle sprain, and I don't know that we are, but you'll see them want to give it lots of time because what can happen with those injuries, and we've seen it over the years, is you come back and then you re-injure it. And now you're, missing that time all over again. So I know I'm eager to see what he looks like in the lineup as well. But I think you have to be careful and make sure that when he comes back, he's ready to be back, fully healed and ready to be back so he can take his 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever's left of the regular season and really get himself integrated. I would be resisting the temptation to rush him back in any way, shape, or form, just given the nature of what the injury might be.
You re-rack it then for Wednesday against the Stars? I know, again, assuming that 97 and 29 won't be going. I mean, we can just say that this morning, but are you making any movements within the lineup that Chris Knobloch iced on Saturday?
Yeah, so I mean, let's run through the forward lines. Like Nugent Hopkins had a good night, and that line continues to look pretty good. I think if the Oilers are trying to formulate, a third line for a playoff run, I don't mind the look of that line. Podkolzin, Arvidsson over on the other side. If you're prepping for Frederic to be on one of Draisaitl's wings, you could see that line being there longer term. And Knobloch said the experiment with Nugent Hopkins at center, they're going to look at for a little while here. So that one, you're probably fine. The Henrique, Perry, Hyman is a bit of a makeshift line, but I thought Perry struggled the other night. Maybe you tweak something there. But the Skinner line I thought was good. You probably keep that one engaged. So other than some, maybe a little bit of tweaking here and there. The one thing I will say, guys, is that I think it's time to get Ty Emberson re-engaged. I really do. I understand, Stetcher's been playing pretty well the last few games, and that's good. But I think the Oilers already know what they have in Stetcher, and we've seen how they've used him previously in the playoffs, right? Which is sparingly. I think there's a higher ceiling for what Ty Emberson might be able to bring this team come playoff time. And I think it's a mistake to get him too far off the track. Yes, he had a dip in play, but this is still a reasonably inexperienced developing player. And if a few bad games equals 5-6 games in the press box, now you're going to have a guy afraid to make mistakes. So I would like them to re-engage Ty Emberson, give him a little bit more leash to work with, because I believe that out of Klingberg, Stetcher, and Emberson, Ty Emberson is your most likely candidate to have meaningful contribution in the playoffs. And I think they've gone one game too long with banishing him to the press box. He should have been in last game. So I'd like to see Ty Emberson get back in there and for these guys to lean into this guy. They got him for a reason. They need him. Start playing him, building his confidence back up.
On the flip side of that, Wallman has been a really nice addition since game one, but it does seem like he is really starting to find some chemistry out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so Wallman has good looks, and he definitely, there's things that he can do that you like. I think he struggled the last few games, and I think that he's good for one pretty significant turnover a game in his own end. The reason we haven't been talking a ton about him is because it hasn't ended up in the back of the net. There have been probably 3 or 4 where you're like, whoa, but either Skinner or Pickard bailed him out, right? That's the thing with Bouchard. Like, most of his mistakes seem to end up in the back of the net. I would say, and people will not like me saying this because of the mistake he made the other night, Bouchard's game is a lot steadier right now than I'd say Wallman's the last few games here. With that said, you know, when Wallman's game dips, it's the defensive part that comes out of it a little bit. And that's a little bit concerning. So I think for him, it's dialing in the defensive play, making sure in his own zone, and then allowing things, that puck moving and that beautiful movement up ice and across the blue line. That's always going to be there. But I would like to see him dial in the defensive part of his game a little bit here. But again, he's new and he's learning with Darnell Nurse here. And I think that, you know, you're going to give him some time to get comfortable. I think he was an excellent addition. He's going to be huge for them in the playoffs, but it's dipped a little bit for me recently here, guys.
Stuart Skinner Wednesday between the pipes for you?
Yeah, roll him out against Dallas. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're going to ask him to play in big games in the playoffs. You're going to ask him for big moments. You got back-to-backs. I think it makes total sense. You can play Pickard the next day, and then you got the Battle of Alberta coming. And really, if you look at the schedule, so you go him versus Dallas, you go him in the Battle of Alberta on a Saturday, you go him against Vegas if you want to on the Tuesday, then you can give Pickard the San Jose Sharks. You go back to Skinner against the Kings. Then you got the Ducks 2 days later. You can roll Pickard out for that one. So there's a combination of easier nights and big games against tough competition. And I'd be leaning into Stu Skinner in these big games and start giving him that big game feel as the season's rolling out here.
You could have kept going. They get the Blues at home after that Ducks game. Like, you could actually do the entire schedule the remainder way through and kind of have a nice even
back and forth.
Yeah, so that's something.
How about that back-to-back there where you've got the Jets and the Kings late in the season, where I'm not sure if it'll matter for positioning or not. So at a certain point, it becomes more about making sure that they're rested. Yeah. But I think for right now, for this next 2 weeks, I think it's about putting Skinner in position to feel the moment.
You potted last night. When's the next one coming down, Ryan? When can we get the next dose?
We're gonna have tons this week. So we're gonna go Tuesday night, and then we'll have a Struddy's World Wednesday at noon, and then we'll have post games on Wednesday and Thursday. So we're basically gonna be ripping pods out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll drop in some Ray and Dregs this week as well. So lots of content coming at us over the next little bit here.
Well, Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back Pocket. Good luck in the Sweet 16 as well portion of your bracket, and we'll talk next Monday.
Yeah, I'll go get to that right now. Good to see you guys. Will, great to talk to you, my friend.
Good to see you, bud.
There you have it. Ryan Rishaug, Got Your Back Pod. You can follow them on X at Got Your Back with a YER. Yeah, you mentioned it's nice to reconnect with Rishaug. Hey, some of these guys we get once a week. You're only in here for maybe a couple of shows, maybe one time a week, but you and him had a nice chat every morning. You'd pick up the phone, call him, off the air type of thing.
Yeah.
Nice little relationship there. It's cool.
You develop friendships away from the microphone, and sometimes it doesn't translate over the air. Just how much you like Matthew Owanek and I. On the air, hate his guts. Privately, I tolerate him.
Yeah, tolerable, yes. Let's get into a Marmot Basin snow report right now.
Changing 200.
Oh, I love to see it. I love to see it.
That is not the... There it is.
203. Can we get to 300 by the end of the show? That's the challenge. You'll be up at Jasper this weekend.
I will. I'll be there. I'll be there Friday.
Friday?
Maybe
today, though?
Saturday. We'll see. Saturdays can be busy, which for a lot of people they love, especially at that mid chalet. It'll just be a party.
That's what you want to be
But I'm
having.
an old man, and I get cranky.
Warm day today. Morning temperature of -2. 5 centimeters of new snow in the past 5 days. 109 centimeter settled snowpack. And the forecast also calling for snow tomorrow through Thursday. So
they could get absolutely dumped on.
You picked a good one.
Absolutely, buddy.
Conditions throughout the mountain are excellent. All lifts are spinning and running. 23 runs groomed last night. And here's a little nugget. The family package, the best deal going.
It is.
$329 for 2 adult and 2 child. 17 and under lift tickets available online only. So check them out at Marmot Basin. That's Brian and the Marmot Basin Snow Report. Gotta love it. Get up there. Support Jasper. Once again, it's open. They need you. They want you. So get up there and $320
cheap trick on it.
$329 for 2 adult and 2 child.
They want you to want them.
They want you.
They need you.
I want you to want me. Yeah, that's how the song goes. Let's get into the wrap right now for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, check out WilliamHuff.com. In business since 1952. They're incredible at what they do. WilliamHuff.com. Guys, what did we learn on the show today?
That Sail GP fever is alive and well.
Oh, is it ever?
We actually have texts about it now.
Red.
Yeah, red.
You'll be taking down that number and dialing them up on your own phone.
All it takes is one.
Yeah. You had the nice recap. I wouldn't mind kind of calling you every Monday morning, maybe when Dusty Eva returns to get a Sail GP recap. I don't know. Do you have anything else to comment on the league as a whole, or what are we going into now for next weekend's events?
Well, just that Canada, although they remain in 5th place, have narrowed the lead with the top and increased their lead from after. Like, the separation between top 5 and everyone else is becoming very distinct at this point in the season.
And another American loss, as we learned as well, kind of in that. Like, it was a bad weekend to be an American sports fan.
2 points on the year.
Trev, we also learned that a longtime listener is no more due to,
because of
lies.
lies.
I guess himself.
Because of lies.
He was accusing you of, yes.
Yeah.
He just left me
He
there.
slandered you. He abandons you, then slanders you, tells lies.
Trying to make me look like the bad guy.
Somebody still said they're waiting for Atif to send his farewell song in, that he probably will sometime later this week.
One.
Yeah, exactly.
And you mean that.
Yeah, I actually cannot wait for that one.
Because if there's anything you've loved more than his singing voice, you can't think of it.
Yeah, no, I've probably been his biggest fan as well.
And supporter.
Yeah.
And I know he said he was mine, but I was his.
And to be treated
for him to just do that
this way is just disgusting.
He leans on you. You've taken many a late night call from him.
He's
have you not?
He's a nasty person.
I've been there for
He
him.
phones Trevor all hours of the night, and he picks up.
He's never been there for me.
Just to reiterate here, Atif texting in the opening hour today. He's taking his talents elsewhere, I guess. I don't know where. But again, you can't leave somewhere where you're not an official card-carrying member. It just doesn't work that way. So he'll be back and
to at least purchase his card.
Yeah, and
so that he can.
I think him and Trev's friendship will be back as well. I mean, that's something that really blossomed at the Elks tailgate over the summer, I do believe. I mean, there was a few.
He was there.
It's going to take an apology from Atif before anything happens.
I think that's the first step.
Formal apology.
Yeah.
If he can do that, I don't know.
Well, you might see your way through to forgiving him.
Yes.
Text of the day today for A&W as well, $20 to A&W, and it's getting him there. Switzerland tapped faster than Bouchard in a headlock, And that's going to, of course, Rachel Homan, victorious, back-to-back world championships now on the Pebble down in Korea, to which one texter says we weren't talking about enough, which I find
and they kept saying it as we talked about.
I find very refreshing on what some people call this an Oilers pod, that we could even talk about that. So, yeah.
You know who doesn't call it an Oilers pod? The Oilers.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to change the name.
Yeah.
Oil pod or something. Yeah. Orange and blue pod. Switzerland tapping faster than Bouchard in a headlock. That's going sending you to A&W Troll. $20 to A&W, courtesy of the Paris Jewelers inbox. And you can get at A&W, of course, the stacker. $3.99 for a single stacker burger, $4.99 for a double, and $5.99 for the triple. That's lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, and the secret sauce, all at A&W. Boys, what are we watching tonight? What's on the old... I know the TGL Golf Final, match 1 out of a possible 3, best of 3. Atlanta Drive GC, New York GC. That doesn't get you all hot and
Yeah, I mean, there's
trot.
one good matchup in the NHL, matchup of significance. That's the Wild taking on the Stars.
Oh, I don't know about that from a Vancouver Canucks standpoint as well.
There's a must-win game. Yes. That's the Canucks against the Devils. Yeah. But as far as like intriguing to kind of figure out what we might see in a potential head-to-head in the playoffs, Wild versus Stars is the game of the night.
Blue Jackets and Islanders as well. Your Islanders, your Patty Wall-led Islanders will host Columbus. The Islanders 2 points up on Columbus right now. Yeah. Neither of which are in a wild card spot, but the Islanders are 2 points out of a wild card. Yeah. So that Islanders could kind of bury the Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets
right now.
Coming off an embarrassing loss to the Pens.
Man, 2-7-1 in their last 10. The Red Wings 2-8 in their last 10. Yep. And the Islanders remaining buoyant, I guess, in that Eastern wild card race. So, 4 games, but some interesting ones tonight. We'll be breaking it down tomorrow. You're back for the final ride, final show of Charge for you, I guess, as it stands. You never know. I never say never, but...
Are you saying thank you? Is that what you're... Because you're welcome.
I will be tomorrow.
Because you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we shower you in payment here and everything with not
rubies.
Monetary, but
you guys literally pay in rubies and unprocessed ore. So... makes it difficult, but lucrative.
Unprocessed ore. Action in the NBA tonight as well. You got the Lakers visiting Orlando. Nuggets at home to the Bulls. Celtics, who we mentioned, hot on the heels of the Cleveland Cavaliers, just 5 back as they visit the Kings. And a crucial one for the Raptors as they visit the Wizards. They're going to have to do some...
Yeah.
If they want to continue the tank, this is a stiff test.
Yeah, outside of shooting on their own net, I don't know, how bad it might get tonight between those two teams.
Well, I'm telling you.
Shoot! No, you shoot. No, you shoot.
Take the ball. Yeah. It's the Generals v. the Generals in this game. And
a story that I'm sorry we didn't cover on Friday. We didn't cover it at all today, but actually has pretty big ramifications for the North American sports world. Is the Boston Celtics were sold for...
Yeah, you mentioned.
For $6.1 billion. This comes a year after the Dallas Mavericks were sold for 3.5.
$6.1 billion to Bill Chisholm.
So we have just seen the value of an... Now listen, Celtics are an iconic franchise.
Yes.
You were always going to have to pay a premium for them.
Yeah.
But that premium should have put them in maybe $1 billion more, because Dallas is not a small market team. That's a major market with good history, great fan base. Not anymore. They've destroyed that. But at the time, right after they bought them, they went to an NBA championship final. So to go from a 3.5 billion to 6.1, that's a we talked about it when Draisaitl signed his contract. You kind of reset the market.
Mm-hmm.
That, by what Boston just did, resets the market. And what's interesting about it, to bring it back to hockey, is that the NHL is looking to add perhaps 2 more expansion franchises. I would be really curious to know how much that expansion fee just went up.
Cowboys, as of 2024 in Forbes, $10.1 billion.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors, $8.8 billion. The Rams at $7.6.
Yeah.
And team does matter. I mean, branding and all that and recognition. But yeah, doubling of what the Mavs,
right?
And that's Dallas.
Yes, that's
Take
what
away
I mean.
the Mavericks, but Dallas is.
It's a major market.
Yeah.
Like it's really like when we talk about, well, Atlanta's kind of, I don't know. The price may have gone up by as much as $500 million because of what happened with Boston, because it resets your market values.
Bill Chisholm, Symphony Technology Group. I think I've talked about with you on the air, off air, and I want to as well. It's going to get to a point where we cheer on a billionaire umbrella organization, and they'll have a collection of you can take your pick. I am a Real Madrid fan and a Red Bull and this and that and the other, and you're represented in every single sport, but it's all under that billionaire tree. Or whatever, or group, or whatever it is, and there will be 6 world groups.
Yeah, well, we've seen that
control,
with
and you.
It's interesting. You mentioned Boston, but the Red Sox are kind
FSG,
of the OG group of that. I mean, at some point it kills itself, right? Like at some point it does strangulate. You just hope it doesn't also kill your team.
We'll be long gone by then, right?
We'll be dead.
Look, that's future generation problem. Penner's Pancakes asks, why TT and a T for Union at the Nasty Bash? Wouldn't that be something? We put you guys both in like mascot uniforms, and then you're hanging out together all night, and then we pop off the heads, and it's the two of you. I'd never guess it'd be a Teef either, eh? Like,
you had no, you'd have no idea.
You'd be pushing him around.
Like, that's a Teef.
Yeah,
and
I see it more as a Dirty Dancing type situation where Trevor just comes in a head full of steam.
I don't.
Goes and finds him in the back corner. Says no one puts a Teef in the corner. And
then what?
And then
the what? Indeed.
Okay.
Then he rushes you, and
you start going to the gym.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Well, I have been, but I need to start going
more.
more.
Add more.
You got to get above
more
the shoulder,
plates to
right?
that
more
bar.
pushing. More pushing.
Yeah.
Skip leg day, buddy. It's all going to be above the shoulders.
Okay.
We inch closer to Oilers game day Wednesday against the Stars, but that's going to do it for a Monday installment of the Nielsen Show.
The time of my life.
Is that the one where she's with the plane? No, that's a different movie.
This way before.
Nice.
Many thanks to Will Fraser again. I'll be thanking you more tomorrow on your final show.
I hope
but
so.
Dustin Nielsen scheduled to be back, thank God, on Wednesday from his Disneyland trip.
You get back to talking some hockey, talking real sports.
Well, and the Lakers will return to the program.
Oh, exactly. Well,
we've kind of been. It's been a bit of a reprieve from LeBron James, but we'll be getting a dose.
Yeah, and he's always amazed that people have a hard time cheering for him.
For YouTube, Trev.
Why do people hate LeBron so much?
Smashing it on the updates. Will Fraser sharing his time with us this morning.
Don't you pick on my son.
Thank you.
I'm Lieutenant Eric. Enjoy the rest of the day. Going full programming here on EST throughout the day leading up to the Reed Wilkins Show 3 to 6. You got Hernan and Gager in the afternoons, the oil stream with Tommy. And, of course, the Hangout coming up next. Matthew Iwanek. If you are watching on YouTube, stay right where you are. The auto play will take you right over. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Monday and a happy spring as well to you and yours. And we'll talk tomorrow. Take care.